Hello, I am Daniel Bloodworth. We are Easy Allies, and this is the Easy Allies podcast. This week I've got Michael Huber.
Yo, I've been moving. I'm so tired.
Yeah, he was napping over there.
So tired.
Kevin took a nap.
Yeah, there's no AC until like next week.
Oh, got it.
Brutal.
Raining.
Not good.
But I got my internet up and running.
Oh,
It's
great.
nice. And
Good
I
stuff.
got,
All right.
I got some tower fans. So open windows.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Get those things cracked open when it gets to 75 at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, 75. It's like 96 here in the evening, so.
Yeah, it's thankfully Damiani, it has been cooling off at night.
Yeah.
But
When
yeah.
the sun goes down.
Not been here. It's like it was 102 today.
Whee! But yeah, Michael Damiani over there.
We gotta go back, Kate.
We gotta go back.
I finally saw that.
Hell yeah.
I laughed though because it's been so meme to death. I couldn't handle it. It was like
when I
a
say it-
dramatic moment. I'm like, oh no, here it comes. Meme. We gotta go back. Kate.
Isla and I say that legit every time we see each other.
Nice. Nice. Making it all happen in the control room. Dawn. Casanova.
Hello.
Cutting like a storm today.
Yeah, we had several B-roll, preparing B-roll, several things coming together. We got everything done, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
Lots of goodness there. And Gabby back there, keeping an eye on us, sending them tweets.
Keeping an eye out.
Friends, we're here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we've been playing. First up on the docket, Doom. Huber just spotted that. It was in my inbox, but I have like 110
Sick.
emails right now. So he mentioned that Doom thing.
So sick.
We got a Zelda trailer also this week. I've been playing Creatures of Ava, which is a cool little game. Volgarr the Viking 2 that Dawn has been playing.
Volgarr. Is that out
Did you
finally?
play some of that
No.
a while back? Okay.
I played Volgarr 1
Okay.
quite a bit.
Well, that's good.
yeah.
You can ask Dawn some questions.
Hype for 2, man.
You have been playing though Cat Quest 3.
In excess.
Yes, and not only has he been playing it, but Huber earlier this week got to talk to the devs. So we're gonna roll that in this episode.
Fun one.
We've got the June sales report. We got highlights from that THQ showcase, and we gotta send some love to Game Informer.
All the love to Game Informer. All of it.
But Huber, let's start this Doom.
Dude.
Doom plus Doom 2. I think this is at QuakeCon.
Truly
just
one of,
announced right now.
you
out
know,
today.
I hope people put Doom in the same category as like Super Mario Bros.
Yeah,
In terms
it
of
is.
how flawlessly this game has aged. Every generation, every couple years I replay Doom and Doom 2. Sometimes I'll throw 3 in there. Like last time when I went through the franchise, I threw 3 in there. But usually I just like boot up Doom 1 and 2. I'm like, I feel like beating Doom this week. And every time I'm just blown away by how good it still plays and how good it feels to just explore and murder demons. And this is just such a cool surprise announcement because now it's just like cleanly putting everything together in one package. If you own either one of them, I believe, you just get this
Oh,
for
nice.
free,
Excellent.
which is so cool. It's on all the consoles.
Yep. Even last gen.
Yeah, even
Yep.
last gen. So just a really nice package because people are always discovering old games. Every year, you got new people that have never even touched Doom.
Right.
So what a great way to just make it easy for everyone to just jump into this absolute classic masterpiece.
Yeah. And we are in the age of the boomer shooter.
Yeah,
So
we
there's
are.
a lot
Blood.
of
You're so
imitators
right.
right now.
You
so
are so right. And this new campaign from there's a new campaign in this,
Yeah.
which they've done every once in a while. You'll find like new campaigns, but this one's special because like Romero did some maps a little while ago. This one's cool though because it has people that worked at id, Night Dive, and Machine Games all coming together, making a brand new campaign. So yes, it is 2024, and we are getting new Doom content. That feels good.
I still remember seeing Doom for the first time on a computer. Yeah. It wasn't mine. We were at a family friend's house, and it was just running. And I had never seen a PC game before. Never seen first person. I was like, what the? It just looks so sophisticated and insane. And like, them playing it, like, it just made me, I was like, I want to play it, but they wouldn't let me play it. They're like, it's too mature for you. I was a little kid. So they're like, nah, you can't play it. But I was just like, dang. And I was like, went home like, how do I get that game? And I tried and like could never get it. And the few games I got for PC could never get them to install and run correctly for like the longest time. Like I had like Jedi Outcast and X-Wing vs TIE Fighter. Wanted to play that shit, man, but it wouldn't install and run on the, because I didn't know anything. I was a little kid.
PC problems.
So like, why doesn't it work?
Yep, that's like when I bought Rainbow Six and I didn't have a graphics card.
But those boxes were sick, dude. I would just pick those boxes out and just like look at that art. Yeah, it was it was good enough for me for that part. But eventually did play all that stuff. Yeah. I was sick when I did.
My brother and I had we had an old Aptiva computer, if you're old enough to know what the hell that is. Aptiva. And we had a joystick for Doom. Like a full-on joystick. And the floppy disks. I remember like MS-DOS installing this shit. It was like a different era.
Yeah, I think I might have had a shareware version of Doom. I definitely had one for Wolfenstein.
Yep, same. I had the shareware one of that. It was just chapter 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
I totally remember.
But then when they ported it to Super Nintendo, that's when I played through the original Doom.
Nice.
For sure. Because I rented that guy.
And
I don't know that I ever
crazy.
played 2 though. Yeah.
Doom 2?
Yeah, I think I need
Ever?
I think I need to play Doom 2.
Wait,
Literally a masterpiece.
wait,
I can't 100% say for sure, but I think maybe not.
crazy Bloodworth, dude. Now is the time. Oh my god. That is wild, dude. Super Shotgun, man. That's Doom 2, bud. Let's go. Time to boot it up. And it's so funny you say Super Nintendo. I love that because it just shows how timeless this game is and how it has just been ported inoffensively, I might add. You know, this is basically a free version, just been ported to the generations. So it's like this game has just been preserved. It plays well on computer or console with controller, with keyboard, whatever. Like, you know, you always see the memes of like people playing Doom on a fridge or playing it in their car. Like, but where can you play Doom? It's like it plays good anywhere, anytime. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, because they said all platforms, even the last gen they do 60 frame per second at 1080p.
Sweet.
And then the newer ones, the better ones, they've 120 at 4K.
Nice.
Whew. So,
Hell yeah.
and then they do have online deathmatch and co-op active in this. So 16-player deathmatch, 43 deathmatch levels.
So insane. Seems excessive. I'm into it though.
And all that mod support is in there.
Hey, your move, Call of Duty. 43 maps.
They've only got like 3 decades to pull from.
Totally. And they're probably obviously they're simpler than COD maps, of course.
Right.
So funny.
Yeah, super good, super great surprise.
Hell yeah, feel good moment.
Yeah, because I was just
Happy summer.
I was in here working on just filling in some details for the rundown, and then Huber starts shouting about Doom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? It's like I'd seen it. I had the corner of my eye, saw something about Doom in my inbox. I'm like, all right, let me look at this. And like, okay.
I want to see how or if, because I think it's like out now, right? I mean, I want to boot it up just to see. I want to see how it connects 1 and 2. If it is just like a choose to play 1, choose to play 2, or if it's like, start Doom and then you legit just seamlessly go through 1 and 2, or if there's like a clean separation.
I think there probably is a separation, but I don't know. What I was telling Huber was funny is there's more information in the trailer than there was in the email. The email just started talking about the podcast they have at QuakeCon tomorrow or something. It's like,
nice.
Well, tell me more about the game.
Yeah.
But actually that's something to check out. They'll probably talk about the process of putting this all together. So
yeah.
Yep.
what a pretty flawless franchise when you think about it. Like Doom 1, 2, 3, Doom 64, Doom and Doom Eternal. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Shout out. What's the next one? Dark Ages, dude. Let's go.
We also got a really extensive Zelda trailer this week for Echoes of Wisdom, traversing Hyrule, giving us kind of a tour of the different regions and stuff, which...
Sweet.
Hopefully there's some regions they didn't spoil here. A little mix on it. It's like, oh, here's everywhere you're going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so convinced it's a Link to the Past map anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, Damiani, I really don't think it is. I think there's definitely some areas and some inspiration there and some maybe general layout stuff. But this trailer shows that they are pulling a lot of stuff from across the franchise and just merging it together. It almost reminds me of Majora's Mask, where it's like you kind of like come in with a certain expectation and you're like, wait, this is here and this is over there and these guys do this. And one of the most like the crazier things that they talk about in this is they have the River Zora and the Sea Zora now as like separate races.
Whoa.
Because you know how like before the Zora was just the guys that like popped out of the river to shoot with fireballs.
Zora
Did you not play Ocarina of Time where they don't pop out of the river and shoot fireballs at you?
Well, that's what I mean, though. Like now, those guys, the old guys are in here along with the Ocarina of Time design Zora. They're both in here as separate villages.
Yeah, I saw the scene where they like confront each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said sometimes they don't get along.
I was trying to remember. No, I was trying. I thought like the Oracle games had both Zoras in them as well.
Oh, okay.
But I think I'm actually not correct because there's a Zora village in there, but I don't think they have like the traditional water, like the river Zora. But this thing has been around for a while. Like I remember a lot of people back in the day, like when Ocarina of Time came out, like, wait, why are there friendly Zora? And people are like, oh, there must be like the mean ones who like live in like the river, and then like the ocean ones are the nice ones. And it's like, oh, okay, so it's been something that's been around for a while. But yeah, they're just having fun. Like stuff like that's just like nice to put into a game. They'll do something like that, but then they like won't directly acknowledge like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's like, because they're more a fan of doing like these loose connection things that like it doesn't really require you to have played any of the previous games. But like if you did, it's like, oh, it's a cool visual treat. But like lore wise, it's like not a big deal.
Yeah. But yeah, they've got Gorons in there. They have Deku Scrubs in there. Deku Scrubs were eating cotton candy made out of spider webs.
And yeah, there's that. And then like, I know you haven't gotten into it yet, but I just gotta say like smoothies.
Yes.
You make smoothies in the Zelda game. Like potions, like just potions. But like we gotta be like modernize it. So here's smoothies. I'm like, okay. Sure. I mean, I don't know. I found it a little odd. I was like, is that like
here's the smoothie station here
code, or is this like actual smoothie? I'm like,
someone at Nintendo probably really loves smoothies.
Yeah. Okay. So I expect at some point we'll get milk tea, boba milk tea in a Zelda game. Definitely making some milk tea. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they were talking about like all the different gear and stuff, accessorizing for different abilities, kind of very similar to Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah.
I'm getting more. This trailer just made me get it gave off vibes that this is like a more traditional version of a Zelda game that is derivative of like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. If they were to like go back in this direction and stop making like a big open 3D, open world 3D game, and I think it's like nice that they're still kind of like trying to blend a little bit of the old and the new here. Because I think it'll get people who have played the recent ones like to be more inclined to try something like this. Well, veterans who have been like asking for a more traditional style Zelda game, we also get something like this as well. So I think it's a pretty smart, idea. And like they even like they have the side quest tracking, like a lot of like the red exclamation, like all the quality of life stuff that was in Tears and Breath of the Wild are like kind of here too. So it's nice to see that to an extent. Now, hope they keep making these types of games. And also, Yeah, there's still a few questions I have after it, but like, yeah, I liked this trailer a lot. I think it made me really invested in playing it, and that map. I thought that map was not going to be that big. When they showed the map in that one part, I was like, oh, I think this is actually going to be a much bigger map than I thought. So that's kind of cool too.
Yeah. And then viewers have probably are already seeing this, but there's this new ability called Bind.
And in the darkness, bind them.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's Tears of the Kingdom.
It works. It works two ways. So there's you can bind something to yourself and then move it around. So in this shot here, she's like pulling a moblin and then dropping it down a hole that this mole that she put out there created. But then you can do it the other way too, to where you can bind yourself to another object's movement. So you can bind yourself to a bird and then just basically like hang on the bird like a tether to wherever the bird's going to take you.
So much cheese.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They just showed a part where like you bind an enemy and then just like hold them over a cliff and then unbind and like bye.
Classic.
Or get like a spiky guy and like put it out in front of you and just like mow through anything that's coming your way.
September 26th. Yeah, that's coming out.
Very soon, yeah.
They also showed off mounts. You get the horses. So you get to ride around, which is like, also indicates it's probably going to be a bigger map than probably some expected like me.
They showed a lot of waypoints too. Those little kind of like ocarina looking statues. Mm-hmm. These big kind of tubular statues with a bunch of holes in them.
Tubular, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, like you're saying, like I don't think there have been many times you've actually ridden a horse in a top-down Zelda game. It's been more of a 3D thing in the past.
Yeah, I mean, they've had it before. There was even like a whole side game that had the Four Swords Adventures. One of the mini game things had horse racing.
Oh, there was a horse racing in that?
Yeah, there was in that one. I remember that. But yeah, I'm very the more I see, the more optimistic I am about this.
Yes.
Good.
And I guess like the biggest thing still is just need to like, they don't need to show it, but it's going to really depend on going through their quote unquote dungeon environments and like what those are going to be like, if they are even in there,
Right. Yeah. The other one that I liked with the bind ability they showed was the spider, because the spider can like climb up cliffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country friends, animal friends type stuff there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think this is maybe a little bit better equipped to kind of capitalize on like the creative element that they were going with Tears of the Kingdom. I think it got a little out of hand because it was just so complex and innovative at the time, and no one really had done anything like that, and so they were just trying it out. And now I think with some of that like feedback and refinements, and also having it confined a little bit to this style of game, I think it's going to play out a little bit better in this game than it did in Tears of the Kingdom. I think it won't. I think you'll see less people critical of it than some people who were just turned off by like the Ultra Hand stuff and the fusion stuff in Tears of the Kingdom.
Sure. Yeah, I know one thing that people are a little disappointed is just not having direct combat in this, but there's so many just different ways of handling enemies, like we saw.
Yeah, I mean, I lament that there's like so far we're not seeing any option to truly do that, and what they're saying, it doesn't seem like there will probably be a way for Zelda to just pick up a sword and swing it. It seems. I would still take this though, because if this game just starred Link, we'd be having like that same conversation about, okay, another opportunity to pass up on a playable Zelda.
Right.
But hopefully, this will not be the last one, that they will like, bring this, allow her to be playable in the future. So I see it as like a positive and a good first step. And I still think a lot of people want this. Not everyone necessarily wanted Zelda to like, don't care if she has physical combat. They maybe like this about it. So it's, a little bit more, different views on that. So I just see it as, ultimately a good thing to have, a playable Zelda game finally, and just see that hopefully it has really good reception, because the reception to it's really positive, so that the developers see that and are more inclined in maybe like the next big Zelda game, even if it's not going to be like Link and Zelda, you choose who you want to play or something like that, or it's just Zelda straight up displayable from the beginning. Maybe at the very least, there's like segments where you do play as Zelda, because I think they got to keep offering that, because a series that is called like The Legend of Zelda, yeah, it's about time that they allow you to like play as that character and have them be more directly involved in the games.
The one thing I'm really curious about is if there even exists in this, is what a boss fight, what the design for that will be. Because, I just played a ranger, and that's a very interesting approach to boss fights there, because similar to this, you don't have like direct combat, attacks, you have to like move things around to damage things. And in a ranger, you also can't really die. So it was just like literally about solving the puzzle to be able to hurt the boss. So yeah, I'm really, really curious what they do with that in here.
Totally. Interesting they haven't showed one. Really?
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah, it could just be because they're like very secretive and they don't want to show that stuff off. But I mean, it would definitely probably help if they'd show off like just one little clip of like a boss-like encounter.
Yeah.
It could be like they did a few in Spirit Tracks. Like there's in Phantom Hourglass, they did the one, I forget the name, where you go around like the minecart track around a boss, and like so you're just shooting stuff at the boss, but like you're not actually like swinging. I think that's how it was. I kind of forget. But they could do something like that where it's like an obstacle course where Zelda has to get to certain spots, activate something, or use her new power to fire something at the boss. And I think they're pretty good at doing that. They've done fights like that before for sure.
Yeah, and then fair point. Like at the end of this, they really emphasized the rifts and like the shadowy enemies coming out of them, and then like Zelda just hopping into this gold portal and like what's over there.
Oh yeah, that's gold. Oh yeah.
What's going to happen
there? Let the Gold Land, Sacred Realm speculation begin. Zelda opening a golden portal. Everyone's going to be thinking that.
Yeah. September 26th.
Coming
up. Last Friday, THQ Nordic had their own little showcase. And there's some pretty cool little things in here. Some nice announcements, a lot of teases. I will say that. There's a lot of teases here. So things that we don't really know a whole lot about, including this first game, which does not even have a name. This is the next game from Tarsier Studios that made Little Nightmares 1 and 2. And they're going to have a full reveal at Gamescom. But right now, we just get this creepy pig. And I'll tell you, like...
Little pig.
If there's one thing these devs know how to do, it's how to make something that's pretty disturbing. And,
yeah.
So this pig just comes up, starts talking at you, entrails.
Guts hanging out.
Just hanging out. Like, okay.
It's a cool pig.
Yeah. Full reveal at opening night live. Jeff's got that one.
I like it. At least, if you're going to do some cryptic teaser, at least bare minimum have announcement for when it's, when you're going to actually see the full reveal. So, yeah, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But they're doing it at Gamescom.
I know you didn't get around to Little Nightmares 2 yet, Huber, but...
No, did one have DLC? I think I did one in the DLC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah. Super cool games. And Little Nightmares 3 is also coming, but that one's being done by Supermassive or something like that, right?
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, to see these guys going kind of head to head.
Yeah.
I'm curious whether it will still be like a side-scrolling thing or how it's going to play out.
This one or Little Nightmares?
No, this one.
Oh, yeah.
How what are they going to do, because if they wanted to break away from Little Nightmares, then what are they doing now?
Totally.
Essentially. For Dawn,
Casanova.
we got Wreckfest 2.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yes. Here we go.
Wreckfest rips.
Yeah, so this guy, Wreckfest has been just killing it for years.
Game is amazing.
Putting out new content, updates, and all this. This was also called a teaser, even though it's a minute and a half. And this guy is just like in here apologizing to his car and then it intercuts to like all of his road rage during the race.
Looks good.
It's an interesting how they threw this narrative because, the first Wreckfest didn't really have any narrative at all, right? As far as I think of, right?
Not at all.
But it's so funny because this really makes me think of what was that flat out imitator that I was into now? Trail Out.
This
makes me think of Trail Out very much. Like the quirkiness too of that narrative they set up is very much like kind of like how Trail Out vibes, which is interesting, I thought. But yeah, as the trailer goes on and you like start seeing this all is in-game graphics. I'm thinking, right?
I think so.
It looks so clean. Oh my god.
But for viewers, you basically see like this cockpit cam that's looking not where the driver is driving, but looking at the driver with all the chaos behind him. They're building this for the new gen PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. New physics system, as you would always expect from a racing game, particularly a racing game that's like 8 years old or something now. That game's been around for a while.
Crazy.
It's basically the gold standard, though, for racing physics. I mean, it's like right up there, the very best there is, I think.
They did emphasize in the email, Don, about fully customizable cars. So you can create your own unique machine and share with other people around the world.
They already did a decent job of customizing before. I mean, you could definitely upgrade all parts and everything, and there's a decent amount of cosmetic stuff you could do to it, but that's always fun.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, like, 'cause as much stuff as they added to it, I'm like, is that new? I don't know if that's new. But, yeah, if you're saying it was there before.
No campaign reference?
Yeah, we'll just...
Story mode?
We'll just have to get in there and see. Again, teaser.
Exactly. Yeah.
Teaser level.
Yeah. Gamescom coming up.
Next teaser. Darksiders, Huber.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love Darksiders so much. I love this franchise so much. I've finished 1 and 2 multiple times. That's how much I love them. Well, I played the remastered versions of those as well. That probably encouraged me to go back and replay 1 and 2. Couldn't really get into 3, but now I obviously need to go back and close that book, finish that off, and then also played a ton but never finished Darksiders Genesis, which is the two-player top-down.
You guys had some positive impressions on that.
Oh my god, that game is excellent. Yeah. Love that one. That one is set between a couple of them, so it's like earlier in the timeline. But this is just a really great franchise. I really, really, really love Darksiders 2 so much. That is like one of my favorite games. I adore Darksiders 2 because
that's the only one I've really played, but I really like that one.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between 1 and 2 is 1 is really puzzly. Like these are full on puzzle dungeons. There are laser puzzles in Darksiders 1. Get them out of my face. And then Darksiders 2 just had, bigger environments, emphasis on action. Obviously, those puzzles and dungeons were still a huge, huge, huge part of Darksiders 2, but they just, ironed it out a bit. I really like Death as a character. And just the progression of that game is just super addicting, like unlocking things, leveling up, getting skills. And then Darksiders 3, super weird one. Just like different vibes, way more hack and slash, action-y, linear game. So it'll be interesting to see what they're gonna do. I mean, I've heard theories. It's just theories at this point. Is it a Darksiders 1 remake? Remakes are hot now. Is that what we're doing? Or are we just going straight into 4? Are we doing another spin-off? So a lot of possibilities with this franchise, and I'm glad that it is showing signs of life.
Yeah.
Because 3 was a little while ago, and it wasn't received that great. So it's like, is this going to be the last one? Is this it? Is Darksiders done? So really nice that it's coming back in some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've had all those behind-the-scenes studio changes and everything there.
Yeah.
So, but we'll have to see.
Cannot wait. Now I'm playing so many games right now, but the other day when this happened, I reinstalled 3. I was like, all right, just put it on there, get it ready. I gotta finish this game. Like, shit. Because again, I've beaten 1 and 2 multiple times.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it still basically like they're all just parallel to each other? We haven't moved on past the first story.
Yeah, you play as different horsemen in each of them, which is really cool. Yeah.
What is especially cool, I did not even... Go ahead and roll this down because it takes a while to get going. I didn't even know what this was. I hadn't heard about this before I started putting the rundown together this afternoon. The Eternal Life of Goldman.
Yeah. This one, you're watching it now.
Yeah.
I thought for a little bit in a second, I thought this was the gameplay. Like for a little while, I was like, dude, this is like just like a going forward, like, intense platformer. I was like, that's kind of like sick. But then, it's not this at all.
Next,
like,
it'll be that next gen, dude. PS6 for that game.
Yeah, because I was like,
That's
I was
crazy.
like, dang, this would be insane to play.
Yeah. But it does go to it is, I think, pretty representative of the animation once we get into the gameplay, which is just about to happen here. There's this very, very detailed side-scrolling world, but like lots of like hand-drawn animation, lots of frames and stuff, and you're this guy, like, you're playing as this old guy with a cane. It reminds me of DuckTales, like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
Pogoing around and stuff. But, like, look at it. They got sharks on the ceiling.
The way he runs is
stuff
amazing.
at you.
This guy rules. This guy is the best already. This is magic.
Yeah.
This is lightning in a bottle. If this game plays well,
This guy with the spider arms.
this guy's iconic, dude. What is this guy's name, Blood? Is this Goldman?
I think this is Goldman.
A new legend is born.
Revenge of Goldman.
But just like every single, like, it's like one of those trailers where you really want to stop and look at every scene.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much going on. This freaking like sled dog yak train thing.
Jeez.
These crumbling masks, like,
Yeah.
it looks really, really, really good.
And this looks like a side scroller, not a Metroidvania, right?
They haven't used the term Metroidvania as far as I can tell, but
side scroller, yes.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, this looks great.
it in some ways the way it's constructed reminds me a little of like a Donkey Kong Country or something like that.
I'm nervous about.
But there's a lot of
Yep, I knew it. I was like, I'm nervous about the date for this. This seems like a year and a half away. That is this type of game. For sure. Wish list now. I never want to see that.
They showed us more than
it's
the
far
others,
away.
though.
They did. They showed a ton. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that game's looking good.
for sure.
I still love the sharks on the ceiling,
Yeah.
like biting a swinging ball and chain and like passing it back and forth to each other as you're trying to get past them. And then Huber, I don't know a lot about Titan Quest, but they showed a gameplay premiere for Titan Quest 2
Yeah.
over here.
I was obsessed with this game as a kid. I still have my box, my PC disc, my box. This was a PC-ass PC game back in the day. Mm-hmm. That's where I played it and experienced it. And it was like Diablo, but, Roman Greek times or whatever.
Right.
So, I played
like-
it a lot when it came out as a kid. Never played it since, So really, I'm just as fresh as pretty much all of you that haven't even played it because it's been so long. I know they had a remaster of it, like maybe not too long ago, of the first one. I was like, oh, Titan Quest, that's cool. Didn't have a chance to hop back in, but Titan Quest 2, you have my attention.
Yeah. And it definitely gives me some Diablo vibes, especially these jump attacks.
Yep.
And some of the earlier stuff that they showed with the exterior areas looked a lot like Dragon's Dogma to me.
Yeah.
Too, just visually. Mm-hmm. But it is top-down isometric action RPG.
Yep.
And they're kind of showing like all the different builds and like we got the ice weapons, we got the lightning weapons, we got the zones,
Yeah.
we got the barbarian kind of guy.
Yep. Between Path of Exile 2 and Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, and now this, we are cooking with some action RPGs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing I do wonder about with this kind of thing, because these aren't quite forever games, but I mean, Path of Exile is for sure.
And Diablo 4 now is with seasons and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like with Diablo, like there's enough space in between those
Come
things.
and go as you please, for sure. Vessel of Hatred's coming up real soon.
Yes.
That's in like a month or two.
But
But yeah, I mean, this is crazy because again, like I told you, I played Titan Quest a long time ago. That feels like it came out in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So this is pretty wild. And I love when they have the confidence and the commitment to just be like, yo, Titan Quest 2. Like, we've been gone for 20 years. Doesn't even matter. Sequel.
Right?
It's cool.
Yeah. Looks good. And we're not going over everything from the show, but there was also a look at the Gothic remake, Epic Mickey Rebrushed, which is coming out September 24th, so right before a Zelda game, and some other stuff in there. But, yeah, some good announcements in that showcase.
Heck yeah.
All right. Bad news time.
No.
Sorry. Game Informer unceremoniously just shut down
Such garbage.
last week. The real garbage move. Real garbage move there on GameStop's part.
Yep.
They just put out a statement with like a bunch of dumb like video game references all over it. Some people were saying it was 100% chance it was written by AI. Game Informer is just gone. The website is just gone. All of the articles and everything that they had up there, they just put that statement up there, and you can't get to anything. Nobody can get to their work. Nobody can save their work. People were told about it as they were on work trips, so they were like on flights and crap while their job was being lost. Yeah, it's full-on garbage. It's one of those things that proves that, like, it's not even just a money decision. It's just like, we don't care what we have. We don't care what this means to the industry.
And we don't care about you.
Yeah.
Because we're not giving you any fucking notice. I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. How many times have we sat here, talked about this exact situation where corporate suits come in and just give you the boot with no warning whatsoever?
Yeah.
If you're going to fire people and lay them off, that's shitty enough. At least do it in an honorable way. At least give them notice. Let them archive decades of video game history and important work. It's insane.
Thing go one step further, man. fuck them doing the honorable thing. It just needs to be the damn law where you have to like give people notice and stuff. Like when the closest we have what you get in California was the warn thing.
Yeah.
When a company does mass layoffs, like they.
But that's the thing. It's a mass
you
layoffs,
know if
right?
it's you or not, and it's mass, and they don't say who specifically. Where I know, like in some other countries, they definitely have to like tell you specifically a heads up, like your job is at risk, and they go through a very thorough process and gives you. It still sucks, but like at least you have heads up, appropriate time, and yeah, it doesn't feel like you're being like just like punched in the gut.
Yeah,
and like
the blind
thrown
side
out
is insane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it sucks, as you said, Huber, because you lose current and former staff just lost their work potentially.
Yeah, it's already traumatic enough.
If archive.org or other preservation sites didn't, get it, it's gone. I was actually looking, but I wasn't specifically looking for this, but for whatever reason, after that Echoes of Wisdom trailer dropped, I was trying to find something, and it was a Zelda interview, and it was a site archiving Zelda interviews, and a few of them just linked to Game Informer articles for AJ Aonuma interviews or Fujibayashi interviews, and those just go to that stupid message now that they have up there. It's like, oh, I was like, that's okay. So a lot of shit, like it's like you're messing with people's livelihoods, you're messing with like their life's work, and it's like you're messing with like history here, like game history. So it's like those things. It's like used to be like sourced for stuff. Now it's like you have to just like it will over time they'll like you'll just have to trust like, oh, I have an archive of this. This is where it came from. So it's like it just on so many levels sucks, and it's just I just don't know. It just sucks. It just sucks. It's horrible, man.
Yeah, and it's not like I think somebody said that like they've got tons of cash in the bank over there, but they've just been cutting their legs out from these guys. One step at a time, year by year, and they were left. Here, the thing that blows my mind is that they were putting together that magazine every month, their online content, their like streams and podcasts. They had 12 people.
Yeah.
At the end, 12 people. Obviously, they're working with freelancers, and they've got that as well. And that's another thing too. Like a lot of freelancers getting work from them. That now, okay, there's another place where they can't get work. And yeah, it's like even if you couldn't find a buyer, or even if you didn't want to, I don't know, figure out how to let them spin off and do it on their own, which they had finally. That's the thing. They had finally this year just enabled them to like do direct subscriptions without the GameStop rewards program.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that kind of thing. Like that reminds me of like when we couldn't be on YouTube at Viacom, right? It's just like
Power up rewards.
Let us do the things that will make us money.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like there should have been, you know, if you're going to decide that like the only thing that we can do is shut it down, then like shut it down with class.
Exactly.
Let them finish a final issue.
Yeah.
Because like, and that's the other thing too. Like, so much of my feed was full of like publishers and developers showing their game on Game Informer and just how much it meant to them.
Iconic.
Dragon Age, like Game Informer had the exclusives
Hell yeah.
on all this stuff, and now that, like Damiani was saying, like all those interviews, all that information, just whoop,
So iconic.
it just pulled the plug out of nowhere. Deals. They had the next issue was 70% done. People were talking about like some of their, you know, favorite work was going to be in this issue, and now it's just gone.
Scumbag move, GameStop.
And like do not know. The one thing I don't know for sure, and I haven't kept up with everything that everyone said because I know there's been a lot of talk over at MinMax and really great stuff to go check out behind the scenes at MinMax.
Absolutely should.
But I don't know like what's happening to like all the physical stuff. You know, like all of the physical like history, like the proof sheets and the hardware and all of that stuff. I know, like, you know, at one point their vault ended up getting boxed up when they moved offices or whatever. But like now what? Like now where's that stuff going to go? Because like like,
GameStop, dude, probably the fucking trash heap.
Right. That's what I mean. It's like there's literally stuff that belongs in a museum in those offices, and will it be treated with respect or not? Like
insane.
Tired
of it.
But
yeah, I'm glad you shouted out MinMax. They're doing a lot of good stuff.
Yes, there is so much good stuff over there that they are doing.
Celebrating / mourning.
Yeah, which I want to do as well. I want to not just talk about how crappy it is, but I want to talk about the legacy and what it means to you, and just some of your memories of Game Informer. What do you think?
Yeah, one of my favorite magazines of all time. In my prime, I was subbed to like 5 different magazines: PC Gamer, Game Pro, Game Informer, Official PlayStation Magazine, and EGM. And I mean, I can't stress enough how important those magazines were to me for my entire life. Like, it's why I went to school for what I went to school for, journalism. Every time I would get one of those in the mail, it was like just this comfort, like this warm blanket, being able to look ahead to the games coming out, because the internet wasn't a thing yet, or it was very early days of the internet. And that is like how we learned about so many games, like just in a magazine. I remember like learning about God of War 1. I remember learning about it from a magazine. Just flipping through and like seeing Kratos. Whoa, what is that? And you know, there's so many pros with news, or like just how like fast it is now. Like that's a good thing. But there was something about just sitting down with a magazine that like made it have more impact. Like now there's just the cataclysmic wave of content, headline, news, blah, 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 blah. Just like my brain can't harness all that info. It's just like too much. It overloads it. But something about holding a physical magazine in your hand and reading some of those features, like the Game Informer features were always so fun. I remember they had like Deus Ex ones, just like the retrospectives, like interviews with people, and just the quality of writing and the storytelling. You know, it's just different. It just hits different. Obviously, we still have like websites that do some like long form writing, but that to me pales in comparison to like a magazine feature about said games. You know, just the storytelling on display. I loved it.
Yeah, and I think that, the difference in the format is, like you're saying, like with a magazine, if you have a subscription, like you might read it cover to cover, or you might hit the things like, oh, this is really hot, but then it'll still be there, and like later on, it's like, oh, let's see what else is in here, and you pick out. And I think
so many magazines in my backpack, just like always,
And I think that's one of the nice things about it is it's like, it can be like the big story can be the vehicle for the smaller story, whereas like online, it's like all about the clicks, right? And so it's like if something's smaller, people might just never click on it, right?
Yep. I learned about so many games from magazines. It's insane.
Yeah. Whereas, with the magazine, it's like flip through, like what? Huh? Exactly what you're saying. What is this?
And I don't know when it happened, but like we all know now, like, dude, those Game Informer covers. Like, I don't know when that happened, but there was a time when it was like every month, every time a Game Informer would come in, it was like, what's on the cover? Like, what is it? What is it? Just the artwork on there and just the exclusive, like, early access to a big preview. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people sharing the Arkham City one. That's my all-time favorite Game Informer cover ever. Like, Batman all bloodied up. It's like all white and gray with the red blood. Yep. Oh, so sick.
Yeah, I like the Skyward Sword one, even though I don't think it's the greatest game. That cover art, especially like the full spread when you had like the cover fully open, was pretty sick. So they definitely had those iconic, cover arts, and then those cover exclusives.
Yeah,
they always got like those scoops, and man, like it was like kind of a thing, like an event. It would be like an E3 or something like that with big events, and then like you'd get like an announcement, Game Informer announce who's on their next cover, and it's like, whoa, it was like. I think the only bigger cover story would be like who's on the Madden cover is like bigger than who's on like the Game Informer cover in terms of like media hype. So that they'll always stand out for me. That like they were like the king of that. Like getting excited, everyone excited about a new issue because they just carried that much clout. With just like the cover reveal, it's like holy crap. Real quick, some like small like goodish news for preservation. I didn't notice this, but Retro Mags. They have a rule where they can't archive anything that's within a decade of active publications, but they have every Game Informer issue from the beginning up until issue 260, which is August 2014, which I guess they're legally allowed to do or something. I don't know. So
digitally,
they are on, digitally.
Yeah.
Yes, digitally. They are on, and they put on the front and center on their main page. So
this will be ongoing for the next decade, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're definitely
slow, but on the good, I guess,
on the case. Yeah, for sure. So that's good to hear. Yeah. I just always remember though, like, forget how it was for a while in the 2000s. Like anytime I did something at GameStop, I just got like another year subscription.
Right. Yeah, it was the Power Up Rewards. It was basically like the magazine was. It was basically like the magazine was free in a way, because it's like if you get that card, then you would get all these like discounts and shit, and then it was like so cheap. It was like $12 or $15 or something for the membership.
I got two at once at one point. I was like, why am I getting two subscriptions?
Yeah. And then they but then like in the last like 5 or so years, they like, I don't know when, maybe it was even longer. They like stopped giving you the physical. You had to like jump through a lot of hoops to do some shit. It was so I remember like 4 months went by GameStop, and I was like, where the hell are my Game Informers? Do I need to resub? And just all these like big hoops to be GameStop.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big hoops, that's one of the other things that people pointed out is that like they sent a message out to people that had subscribed, because that's only been going on for a couple of months since they launched that campaign. You need to like email them to request a refund. And like, come on, dude. Like, how much of a pain is that going to be?
They
like,
know.
How many weeks are you going to spend?
They know they're going
to get your money back.
Exactly. They know they're only going to have to give like 20% of the people's money back because it's too much of a hassle for most people. It's all part of their insidious so much fun
to get a new issue, like a Game Informer, or like even like Nintendo Power up to like when it ended as well. EGM, like
holy shit.
Because even when things moved to the internet and even YouTube started to be like, once the rise of like digital media kind of like just overtook traditional print media, especially in the gaming industry, it felt still very, rewarding and, felt good. Not just because of like the format for like the people who prefer that style. But the fact that like it honestly felt like a precursor to like the long form opinion videos you see on YouTube. A lot of the articles you're reading, you just have to read it, watch it. So you were getting like someone else's different take on stuff. So even when as YouTube started having more of those types of videos, I just saw this as something else. I was just like so interested in hearing someone else's take on a big game or a big announcement, a news story, and just getting their perspective because it felt very satisfying
and personal
to get something like that.
It's so personal. I mean, I would always read every time I'd crack one open, Game Informer. I'd read the message from the editor, Andy McNamara, writing about like what is going on in the biz right now, and it's just like this just feels like they're talking to me directly. I don't know. I always felt more connected to a magazine and Game Informer other than the internet. It's just way more connection.
You could feel the like camaraderie of the team that was making those magazines. I feel like all of them.
Yeah.
Like just the some of them having like their quirky sections. Like remember like Nintendo Power used to have like dedicated sections from certain staff that over time they just got like phased out. What was it like? Was it Nestor Lester or whatever his name was? Like had
Howard and Nestor,
I mean, even like classified information had a different version of it back in the day in Nintendo Power, and those things were kind of like EGM and stuff too. And it was really cool to see that. I know didn't read as much, but I know Game Fan did a lot of that stuff too. Yeah. And over like it just stinks that a lot of that more likely due to the powers that be were saying like, no, you got to get rid of that stuff. You got to give them you got to this was the path they chose, and we see this time and time again, not just like what happened in magazines, but like websites. It's like someone who doesn't know better, but they're in charge, makes these decisions to transform something, and it's always for like the worst. And it's always what happens whenever a company like you get bought out or you get change hands. Like someone just doesn't understand you. They have their own weird vision for it, and it just ruins what made you so good and original. But thankfully, despite like any of those limitations, Game Informer was still not doing phenomenal coverage up until the very end. So and I mean they all did, and they have to, like all those magazines did, but especially like Game Informer did up to the end, as I said, with the cover reveals and like a lot of their features, just commanded a lot of respect.
Yeah, for me. Because I didn't get into Game Informer until after I was an adult and getting the GameStop membership, like you're saying. Like I don't have the same kind of like nostalgia for like early issues and stuff that I have for like a Nintendo Power. But it was definitely like more of like, that's sort of that camaraderie and that business sense. Like I remember like first meeting like Andy McNamara at like a DICE in like 2003 or 2004 or something like that, and then it would just always be like you see these guys around all the time. Like it would be me and one of the Andys in like a Need for Speed appointment at E3, like get in there, and Jeff Gerstmann would probably be in there too. We're the guys trying out this Need for Speed for the first time. I was still using them actively as a resource. My planning every month is from their freaking release calendar.
Yeah, you love that.
Yeah, because it was the perfect it was the perfect mix of like it's not everything, because everything includes all kinds of like overwhelming nonsense hentai games and stuff, right? It was the stuff that mattered and the release dates that mattered. Like they did such an excellent job of curating that stuff and keeping it up to date, and sometimes like the dates are shifting constantly. That's why it's such a nightmare to keep up with.
Yeah.
But their stuff was usually like really, really on point to where like I could plan out every month, look at that Game Informer list. I've got another, list here or there, but like even the other lists I would turn to, would maybe not have everything that Game Informer has, so they did a great job with that. And then similarly with the news, like they weren't reporting every story that the other places were reporting, but I knew that like if I went to Game Informer and scanned for the news for the week, like the stuff that they had is going to be like the bigger cream of the crop stuff. It's like, okay, I know this is stuff that like I need to be looking at and paying attention to. And then, Ben Hansen, of course.
Legend.
Killing it over there with the Game Informer show, and then eventually MinMax now exists. so many Game Informer alumni over there. Yeah. And then, spent a lot of time with Brian Shea, this past year in different events, and we were together in Warsaw. Saw Marcus and Alex doing all kinds of stuff. Just a bunch of great guys. So, yeah. I don't know, Don, have you got any Game Informer thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have Game Informer memories from when I was younger because I was same as Huber. So much what Huber says just hits me right in the heart. That's like my childhood, too. All those publications Huber mentioned. But, yeah, I'd be like, the thing about Game Informer first that I remember from way back in the day was that it was the first publication I got to read that actually, because, there was Game Pro and EGM back in the day, but a lot of times, a lot of their stuff, at least back then, was, real hype. And it was like, sometimes almost just like, I don't want to call it propaganda, but it was sort of just like, it wasn't necessarily like journalistic or hard hitting or deep diving. And like Game Informer was the first magazine that gave me that when I was younger, at least way back in the day. That was like more in depth, more serious, more like, just like thoughtful pieces and stuff like that, more critical even. And then, obviously over the years, like the covers, I remember the Mega Man cover was like one of my favorite of all time. It showed like all the different versions of Mega Man. They had the Game and what did they call it? Game and Farcer section that they would do. That was like, it was so hilarious and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
And so, I just it was always like just represented like, it was right up there in the higher quality tier of like publications, always, you know what I mean?
Always.
And their content, always. And like you said, right up to the end, it felt like that. Like they were right up there at the top in terms of quality. So just tons of good memories. Breaks my heart. It really does. I wish it didn't happen. I wish these guys could keep going forever. I do.
Same.
So.
Yeah. I saw like Wesley already got like a freelance article for like Game Developer Magazine this week. Like he's just like, people reached out and he was able to like put something together like that fast. Good. So, but yeah, definitely keep an eye out for all those guys. If you have work for them, they are looking and they are worth whatever you can spend. So, on to the June sales report.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to get into some of the other financial reports that were this week as well. Not everything, but we've got Nintendo and Sony stuff, too.
Blood. Mm-hmm. You got to lead with the most important thing, please. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go for it.
Where is Mario Kart 8 still on the list?
I believe it is. But let me pull up. I haven't pulled up the top 20.
Are we getting a Switch 2? No!
It is.
Damn it.
No Switch 2
17th place.
This month. No. All right, maybe next month. Maybe next month.
The little plastic safety cover on the launch button just got closed back over slowly.
There are some very, very interesting movements on this month's charts. From Matt Piscatella of Circana, U.S. spending totaled $4.6 billion in June, falling 5% compared to a year ago. For the first half of the year, since we're up to June now, spending grew 1% compared to 2023. Mobile and subscription growth were offset by a 26% drop in content spending. With the mobile stuff, Roblox saw a 15% increase in revenue month over month.
Go Roblox.
And then Pokemon Go saw a 22% increase in revenue with its 8th anniversary event. So, nice. Believe it or not, that stuff is still cooking. Hardware spending fell 37% compared to a year ago. Finished the first half of 2024 31% lower versus last year. Switch hardware spending was down 48%. While PlayStation 5 declined by 28% and Xbox Series by 18%. However, in the US, PS5 is still 7% ahead of PS4 life to date.
Okay.
Switch is only 1.1 million units behind PlayStation 2 in the US in lifetime sales. And then even Xbox Series is holding close to the Xbox 360's lifetime to date pace.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That seems pretty good, actually.
There's so many gamers now. Everybody games.
Yeah. And then along with our top 20, he's posting all of the active user stats. But so I won't go through all of that. But Huber, on the Steam monthly active users chart,
Yeah.
guess what popped in there at number 8?
Darkest Dungeon 2.
No.
I don't know.
Chained Together.
Chained Together. Oh, of course. Yeah. Nice.
All right. So on to the top 20.
All right.
We have 2 new ones for June.
2 new.
And then we've got some crazy ones.
Is football in this one?
It's who?
College football?
I believe that's going to be
month?
next month.
Okay.
That wasn't June.
Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah.
That was July. Everyone was going insane about that.
Yeah, I believe that's July.
Fallout 4.
What?
Fallout 4.
Fallout 4.
Like is the show stuff still lingering?
I think it's finally fallen off.
Falling off.
Gotta wait for the next season.
It's falling out.
Did the one I played? Did Luigi's Mansion 2 make it on?
Number 8.
I'm guessing it. Yes. Okay. What's the other name?
And that one does not count.
Wait, what?
It does not count the digital.
Oh, I thought you meant it didn't count blood. I was like, oh, okay, doesn't count at all. Right. Ineligible, disqualified Nintendo. And what's the other one? A new one? What else came out? I mean, because
It's similar to that it's new, but not that new.
not that new.
So it's similar to the Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. New, but not that new.
Last of Us
a
Part 2
remaster? Was there
remastered.
another remaster that came out?
Last of Us.
Not quite.
Was that month?
GTA 5.
You got the 5 right.
5.
5. Fuck.
5.
Persona 5 Royal.
No. What?
Mech Warrior 5.
No. The other.
Civilization
SMT.
5.
There it
SMT. No, SMT. But what's the
Oh.
title called?
SMT 5 Vengeance.
Vengeance. I want to say Revengeance. Not called Revengeance. Oh, that made it. Oh, I mean, yes, it would make. That would definitely make it that high because what it came out on, of course. Freed from the Switch, of course.
4th place, yep.
That's nice. Wait. Oh no, that wasn't that month. Never mind. Sorry. Where's Elden Ring? Because DLC hit that month.
Elden-
Number
Where's Elden Ring?
1.
All right, there you go.
Number 1 for Elden
There
Ring.
you go.
Zeitgeist Fever.
Yeah.
There you
FOMO.
go.
Went
Can't
from
miss out.
20th
FOMO.
to 5th place in the year to date.
What is it?
Elden Ring went from 20th to 5th place for the year to date sales.
Oh, wow.
So
Power.
This year.
for this year,
Best.
Elden Ring is the 5th best-selling game.
That's crazy. Jeez.
All right, I sort of know about one thing on this list because I saw some headlines about this specific game, a collection making it on here. So I won't say anything else, but something people have been waiting for a long time to be freed from another platform and on PC stores.
Have you followed this? You followed this yet? No? You can't guess this?
I've been moving, dude.
Okay.
And the amount of spots I heard it move.
Yes, yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah. So,
okay,
but there's a funny bit of this. So, Damiani's
Yeah.
talking about Kingdom Hearts Integra Masterpiece
Yeah, Kingdom
that went
Hearts.
from 399th place to 3rd
Disney.
because it came out on Steam.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I remember.
And Kingdom Hearts before, they had them on Epic, but they didn't have them on Steam.
Got it.
But very, very specifically, this Integra Masterpiece
Intergram Master
collection
What a name.
was previously only on Switch Cloud.
Oh my gosh. How
So
do you
that's
track
why
that?
it was at $3.99.
Okay, so that's probably their cap or something.
What is
Wow.
it? The whole franchise?
Yeah, basically.
It's
Yeah.
everything.
So it's like
yeah.
1.5, 2.5 collection, but combined.
Plus 3, yeah, and
Crazy.
DLC, yeah.
Crazy. That's sick.
Woo! Good stuff.
Heck yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be number 1 that month it comes out easily.
Dude, number 1 of the year, baby.
Whew.
That Disney hype.
If they put it on PC day and date, yeah, it will.
Dude, you put Marvel and Star Wars in there, and it is over.
Dude, what if they put Deadpool and Wolverine in Kingdom Hearts? What?
We do have one
hype.
other big jump but I'm gonna think you're not gonna guess it. Wait. The Elder Scrolls Online went from 198 to 18.
Is there an expansion?
Because they had to do expansion.
Got it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's pretty good.
Nice.
Street Fighter 6 went from 72 to 20th.
Was there new
Mortal
DLC
Kombat,
or
all the
sale?
fighting games.
It seems like it was just a sale.
Okay, it was the Capcom
promotional
sale.
pricing. I don't know if people are
Okay.
trying to prep for Evo,
Yeah,
download
that
it
too.
and have on a bunch of
I
other
expect
systems.
it
Or
to maybe be in there for
Mortal
July as well.
Kombat.
So we'll see.
yeah,
Is Mortal Kombat on the list?
is Mortal Kombat on the list? I don't think it
Bieber
is.
is asking, yeah. It's not? No.
Oh, yes, it is. 15th.
Oh. Nice. Still holding on. Sorry, I was still laughing about thought of Deadpool being in Kingdom Hearts because just talking trash about Sora. Like, if they allowed Nomura to... And a Nomura designed Deadpool. How insane would that be?
That'd be sick.
Be pretty good. What else?
Anything
we
else you're
got?
curious about? Yeah.
Nintendo stuff. If Mario Kart was all the way down there and we already got Luigi's Mansion, did anything else Nintendo make it onto that list?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it was a bunch. Okay, what do you got?
Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, still hanging on at 14th place there.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
And then...
Mom, bud, you said it like you made it sound like there's a bunch.
No, I think
What?
that's it. I think that's it for Nintendo.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right. A little disappointing.
Persona 3 Reload, is it on there?
Is it?
Fell off, maybe.
I think it's off.
Oh, well.
All right, Blood, give him to us.
Here we go. 20th
go.
place, Street Fighter 6.
Nice.
19th, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Hell yeah,
Oh,
Goaty.
holding on.
18th is ESO. 17th is Mario Kart. 16th, UFC 5.
Oh.
15th, Mortal Kombat. 14th, Paper Mario. 13th, Spider-Man 2.
Spidey.
Oh, Sony. Evergreen power.
12th, Ghost of Tsushima, still hanging on there. Hell yeah. 11th,
yeah.
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers!
10th, Sea of Thieves, still hanging strong.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
9th is EA Sports FC 24.
Get in the game.
8 is Luigi's Mansion 2. 7th is MLB The Show 24.
Hey, heated race in MLB right now, baby.
Don't.
So many teams
I don't wanna
tied
hear
at
it.
the top.
I don't want to. We're in free fall. I don't want to hear about it.
6 is Minecraft, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
5, Hogwarts Legacy, still trucking along.
Wow. Jeez.
4th, SMT5,
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
Vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
3rd, Kingdom Hearts. 2nd, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And 1st is Elden Ring.
It's really wild every month. It's just sports and
Yeah.
Call of Duty and
Like
couple
Nintendo
Nintendo
sports,
games
Call of
and-
Duty, and pop culture
yeah,
adaptations.
and that's it. That's it every month.
And Minecraft.
Yeah. Just make one of those. You're golden.
Just make Minecraft too.
Also, this week we got a Nintendo sales report for Q1, which is April, May, and June. If that's confusing, that is kind of confusing, but that's it. That's how it works. Q1 for the fiscal year. Net sales down 46% compared to Q1 last year. Hardware is at 2.1 million, which is also down 46%. Software 30.6 million, down 41%.
Uh-oh.
The 3 games they highlighted, Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, 1.76 million
Nice.
for its debut.
Nice.
Luigi's Mansion 2 was 1.19 million.
Keep going.
And then Princess Peach Showtime, which came out the previous quarter, is now at 1.3 million total.
Nice.
I saw, I think it was Stealth tweeted out that either it was 69 or 70 Nintendo first party titles have hit 1 million on Switch units moved. That's insane. What? It's good.
They did
stuff.
point out that sometimes these things are rough in terms of comparison, because last year's comparison was Tears of the Kingdom and the Mario Brothers movie. in Q1. So that was moving a lot of units.
Switch 2 next year. It's going to be good. Don't worry.
Yeah.
They also said that while hardware is down from a year ago, it's pretty stable quarter to quarter from Q4 to Q1. Switch is in its 8th year, and the Switch total sell-through is 143 million units now.
It's a lot of bodies. It's a lot of people.
Yeah. And then those active users are going up. It's like 128, something like that. 128 million active users.
121 and an 8.
I was about to say that. I was like,
121 and an 8.
Because it's not 128. It's like, what's the first number and an 8? Almost had it.
What's funny is I'm pretty sure the previous quarter was 121. So, or the last time, the previous figure. On the Sony sales report, which we also got, their hardware sales are on the decline, but software sales and subscription revenue are up. Of course, after that price hike, $80 over Essential.
Get out of here.
Of course. What are you talking about?
Hardware on Sony is 2.4 million units, down from 3.3 million last Q1. Software sales are up 20%, mostly due to add-on content and digital sales. So actual software units are about the same, 53.6 million versus 56.5 million, but the add-on content is 37% higher. And now 80% of software sales on Sony are digital. 80% digital.
Wow. 80. That's 4 out of 5.
But their active users up 8 million. So
it's a lot of bodies.
A lot of bodies. And then last little financial bit, Balatro has now sold 2 million
2 mil
units.
Hell yeah.
One
Gabby's
guy and a publisher.
Gabby's been grinding big time. Got me back in on it. I put it down for like a couple months. Got back into it recently because of Gabby.
Says there's a major gameplay update coming in 2025.
Saw that.
Also said he's put it in his will.
I saw this.
That Balatro will never be licensed to any kind of gambling company or casino.
Smart.
Wow.
So there you go.
Super smart. But also, could probably make a lot of money.
Don.
Yes.
Tell me about Volgarr the Viking 2, because I don't even know anything about Volgarr the Viking.
Dude, Volgarr is so sick.
You've been playing this?
Yes.
Huber's played the first one, has not played the second one.
Huber's a big fan of the first one.
Supposed to be really hard.
Ghosts and Goblins, baby.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Like that?
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah, so Volgarr 2. I was a big fan of Volgarr 1. And Volgarr 1, it was a sort of a modern-day retro, side-scrolling, very difficult, platformer action game. And 2, I think it came out, I want to say 2016, 2017, probably something like that. Extremely difficult, very, precision.
Hard.
Yeah, I definitely didn't. I actually never beat the first one.
So hard. I never beat it either.
You did? Oh, that makes me feel good.
So hard.
It was brutal. And so I was pumped for the second one because, one of the things I was actually looking forward to was just a little more accessibility in terms of what they were actually touting in their advertising and stuff, saying, well, they made it a little bit easier. So, yeah, let's check it out. Some of the mechanics and stuff at play here. Here you see your Volgarr, and initially one hit will kill you. But as you can see, you find these treasure chests which upgrade. You see the different upgrades I've collected on the top left there, which give me the flaming sword, boots, a shield, all kinds of different things. Makes my sword more powerful, be able to move faster, various upgrades. And each one of those upgrades also counts as an extra hit point. So that does help nicely. But that was a similar system to the first one. And I
don't think I see enough cheap flying enemies. You're comparing this to Ghosts and Goblins.
Just so so they do ease you in a little bit more. This is the very first level of the game right here you're seeing, okay? So really
there you go. Oh,
yeah, they ease you in. And I actually already had a little bit of practice here, so I would have died already a couple times probably, but this is pretty early. So, what can I say about it? At first glance, I thought this was going to be a big change, even graphically, from the original. The graphics are beautiful, pixel art, as you can see, really nice. And And when I actually, during playing this, I decided to go back to the original and play that a little bit.
So hard.
And not only did it remind me how hard it was, but I actually reminded me of a couple other things. That this isn't necessarily that big of a visual leap, what I initially thought when seeing the trailer from the original one. It actually looks pretty similar, you know? The soundtrack in this game should be brought up. It is beyond epic and amazing. Ooh. I was playing it here one day, and I think it was echoing down the hallway, and Huber came down. He's like, what are you playing? He thought I was playing God of War. And there's just like beyond epic and intense, but it was only lowly Volgarr.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, he was like, what? I mean, it's just like beyond intense, but very excellent. There's a little zoom out mechanic you can see here. You know, you use the trigger to zoom out so you can see a little more. I wish it wouldn't zoom back in automatically. Sometimes I wish you could just stay zoomed out. Right. Really, a lot of times they surprise you with stuff that's coming on screen. So you have a jump, a double jump. The double jump, as you can see, activates this attack. And once you launch, you know, you can't change your direction in air. You see your spear can be used as platforms. You got to dodge there. Now here, what happens here? So I'm at play with it. Okay, so that was a power up I just used there. I took a hit there. So when you pick up that one upgrade, that'll like kill everything on screen when you actually do get hit. Okay, this right here is a checkpoint. They added these checkpoints. At first, I didn't realize I was breaking these checkpoints. You know, you can break the checkpoints to get extra treasure.
Yeah,
and
Shovel Knight does that.
Yeah, so at first, you know, the tutorial explains a little bit, but it really doesn't honestly explain everything that they should, because they don't even mention that and stuff. Obviously, you know, it seems obvious, but at first I was like, oh yeah, I'm just getting treasure out of these things. I didn't even realize they're checkpoints for a second. But yeah, they're checkpoints, so that's nice. Yeah, so look at this brutal death now. Now, I was just playing for like 2 minutes all the way back to the start. That was partially my fault because...
It's entirely your fault because you smashed every checkpoint.
Yeah, I smashed every checkpoint, right.
Things.
Now you see I'm green Volgarr. This is from a later clip. When you continue in this game, this is a controversial thing. Yeah, I think several times, I want to say 5 or 6 times, you continue as this now zombie Volgarr, who now I believe you don't take either as much or as much physical damage directly. The thing that's weird about this, though, is once you are on the zombie form, you keep continuing like that, and you can't. You got to essentially restart your game to start from the very beginning to go back to like regular form. So it's an odd decision. It's a weird thing because even though they're making it easier by being like, oh, you have continues now, you have checkpoints, you have this and that. It's like, in a way, it really wasn't easier at all from the first one, it felt like, because you end up because first of all, when you die and go to the checkpoints, you lose all your upgrades. So usually you're in a pretty tough place in the level at that point, and you're going to maybe just stat. I found myself, I'd continue from a checkpoint, and then suddenly I'd die like 2 or 3 times very quickly, and I'm like, dang it, you know? And then when you continue, you have to go back to the beginning of the level. And the thing about it is just the regular gameplay of it, there's a precision to everything. And I found that there wasn't a lot of although it took some experimentation to find kind of a correct way to get through it apart, I didn't find a lot of areas where it's like there were like 2 or 3 or 4 ways to do things. It's like there's pretty much one way to do the stuff, and you just got to kind of figure it out, and then you make your way through. So the task of being sent back and retreading the same ground gets laborious, and it gets honestly tiring. And some of these levels, I was telling Huber, the length of them are insanely long, especially when I got to like World 2 and stuff. I wasn't timing it, but I want to say some of these levels, you're making progression for like 5 minutes straight, which is like insane on a side-scrolling level, you know. So sure, you have a couple. So to be sent back to the beginning of that, then
it's taxing. It's taxing.
Oh, it was discouraging, is what it was, Huber. So it's like it feels good, the gameplay feels good, and all that in the moment to moment. But when you're retreading the same areas, doing in the exact same manner, because you're not really like. You discover little things here and there, but you're not really discovering like massive different ways to, run through these sections. It just gets like I would lose my focus a little sometimes when I'd have to retread the areas because it would become almost a little boring, honestly. Now, look, it brought up in my mind Trials a lot because of the fact that it's a similar kind of thing of like, in order to progress, they expect you to like retry and retread these same areas. But the thing that's so different, and obviously it lends itself to Trials, is like, first of all, you have the physics-based gameplay, but you have checkpoints everywhere in Trials. You know, you might have 20 checkpoints through a stage instead of like 2 or 3 on this one. And so a lot of the areas you're figuring out in incremental little bursts. So you might rerun an incremental section of the stage in Trials 20 times, but and it gets frustrating in the moment. But once you're through that, it's like you keep moving, and then the goal is like, okay, at some point you're going to get good enough that you can get through the whole thing without having to redo all the checkpoints. But with this, it's not the case. Even between one checkpoint to the other sometimes, and there it is where I haven't destroyed one. So you see it's lovely. Yeah. Sometimes when I'd activate one of these, I just stand there for a while and wait because I wouldn't want to be killed. I just enjoy the scenery for a little bit. Nice
Warm your hands by the flames.
Yeah, exactly. Don. Beautiful colors, though. The art is lovely. The game itself is lovely and it's fun. It is a good game. It's challenging.
It's ruthless.
I think it's ruthless. I think it would be a very fun game actually to play with someone, couch co-op style, just handing the controller back and forth kind of deal. Actually, would probably be kind of satisfying. Now, this boss here,
mirror match.
You actually see him. I'm fighting him in his ogre version here, so I'm not taking damage. But he actually was pretty easy. The first time I beat this boss, the boss was not that challenging here. But later on, oh man, it gets nasty. So. What else can I say about it? I mean, it's a tough thing. They do let you continue. Okay, so for instance, when you get to like World 2, World 3, etc., you can continue from World 2 and 3, but you can't go back and replay stages. And once you get Volgarr, you've continued too many times. It's like it's a real penalty that once, you basically, if you don't want to do that, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. So it's a couple of odd choices I think they made. I think it's a difficult... Look at this. This is jolly, though. You go back to your camp between levels and all your treasure falls down. Sick. You can like jump around.
Oh, it just fills up that space.
Yeah, that's filled up. That thing is nice and satisfying. So charming, a lot of charm in this whole game. And they change it up a lot. Okay, so here you're getting a little bit of an idea. Now, this is a very early game, too, so no spoilers. But you see they do change up the environments quite a bit. Now we're in like, Pirates of the Caribbean or something. You got these crustacean creatures and all this stuff. These pirate ships is fun. But, some of the level design, I would just say, wasn't like super interesting, and it was long. You know what I mean? So
it felt long.
And then the gameplay itself is like, it's fine and it's tight and it's good. Very similar to the first one, honestly. But there's nothing, like insanely fun necessarily about the traversal and everything, as you can see here. Like it works, but it's not like you're having a blast doing it or something like that. And so that just, I think, is exacerbated when you're like retreading those same areas and stuff like that, the way it forces you to do it. So I wish that they kind of ultimately, I would say, like, yeah, it's worth it. If you like the first one, it's going to be probably very similar to that. I don't know if it's better or not, because like I said, I haven't beaten this one either yet. It's very like, but So it's a fun romp, but it's a challenging romp, and you just got to be prepared for that. Yeah. And it's a game too that's like, the other difficult thing I guess I found about it was like, you get in the groove of it. And when you get in the groove, it's obviously like anything that has a challenge level like this, it starts feeling better and better, right? So when you're in the groove of it, it's actually feeling really good. And it inspired me to like go back. I started playing, I just like started going back to like RoboCop, Terminator, Super Nintendo. I started playing some like frustrating old platformers from back in the day, and I was like appreciating those. And then I was coming back to Volgarr, and I was like, you know what, this game kicks so much ass. And I was like back up on it because I was starting to get down. Then I was getting back up because I played some old brutal platformers from back in the day. But then as I was playing it again, I took a little break for like a few days and then came back to it. And I had my save file, so I was like, okay, cool, I can continue my game. But then I died so quick because I just wasn't in the groove still. You can like literally lose the groove for a few. And so then suddenly I'm like, you essentially have to reset your game and going through the whole levels again that you're like, you get very familiar with them. You know what I mean? So it's a kind of like tricky thing with this Volgarr 2. There's a lot to like, but it's kind of like the first one where it's like, if you're okay just being like, I don't know if I'm going to beat this game, but I might dabble with it. And again, I think it could be like a lot of fun just like playing with someone so you can blow off, some of that steam is like not just being built up in your own head kind of deal. But I did enjoy it. And when I get in the zone and when I stick with it, it was very, very satisfying, just like any of those old school platformers. So in that sense, it's a success because that's what, the genre used to be like in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the only reason I ever beat Ghosts and Goblins and Super Ghouls and Ghosts was because in college I said I was going to. I sat down. I was like, I'm only playing these games until I finish them. And it just became this like super intense grind. And I think like setting myself up for that, just being like, yo, these are the only games I'm going to play. Nothing else matters. Whatever. I'm going to eat. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to drink. I'm going to go to class. Whatever. And play these games. I feel like Volgarr is a similar situation, Don, where it's like, you have to like put on your driving gloves, so to speak.
Right.
So accurate.
And just absolutely prepare and commit to the slaughter.
Yeah, no, it's a great way to put it. When you are committed to it, and then you're like living that commitment. It's sad. It is fun when you're in that moment. It's just like, yeah, you kind of have to stick to the moment. I don't know how you beat Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Do you know I still haven't beaten that bloody game? I got to the end, and I got to the end.
You didn't have the item.
When it sent me back, it's one of literally in my entire life. I have a few video game moments in my life where I just like abandoned all hope on Earth, and like just like one of them was what was the other? I forgot what it was. When I went through my, I think it was like Top Gun for the NES. I threw my cartridge into my neighbor's yard. There's only a few times when I've lost all hope because of a video game, and Super Ghouls and Ghosts was one of those.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I had a similar thing with Volgarr 1 done. I was like, I think I'll just wait for 2 at this point. This is brutal.
Yeah, it was funny when I went back to 1, actually. I was thinking like, because I was having trouble with 2, and then I'm like, I don't know if this is that much easier. Is it me? What's going on? So I went back to 1. And yeah, no, it's more similar to 1 than you'd actually think in terms of difficulty and stuff. Yeah, for different reasons. The stages are a lot longer, I would say, too. So yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much, Don.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We've got more to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that bell on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Selling a little or a lot, Shopify will help you do your thing no matter how you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage, Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify has got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. I really like that Shopify grows with you. You could start as a little mom and pop shop or a mom and mom shop and get as big as you want wherever you are. It's going to be great. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/allies, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/allies now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/allies.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. All right, Huber.
Yo.
You've been playing a lot of Cat Quest 3.
Damn right.
We've got this interview coming up, so don't want to go too long on impressions, but definitely want to get some context for this interview and you talking to those devs and really like what's standing out, particularly beyond the first 2 games.
Cat Quest is amazing. Everyone should play it. They're both on sale now for like $3 each. Come on now.
Yeah. And the new one is out on International Cat Day.
Yeah, it is. This is a charming, jolly, incredible series so far. Like, all 3 of these games are nothing less than great. And Part 2 added co-op and dogs, but now with Part 3, which also has co-op, couch co-op,
which we're playing on Group Stream next week.
Yeah, I wish I had lived with someone so I could couch co-op this game, because holy shit, that would be a 10 out of 10. Have fun, everyone that can do that. The pirate ship is game-changing. Life-changing addition to this game. Dawn, seriously, some just the pirate exploration in this is really awesome. It's obviously, we're not talking Assassin's Creed or Skull and Bones size map here, but I think that works to Cat Quest's strengths.
Yeah.
Because this game is just so engaging and rewarding every second. Like, the gameplay loop in Cat Quest is almost perfect. Because it's a game where you can play for 20 minutes at a time or 3 hours at a time, 4 hours at a time, whatever. And you're always exploring. You're always finding something. You're always battling and leveling up and getting loot and finishing quests. Like, it's just such a easily playable game. But what makes it great is that sometimes it'll push back on you. You'll be cruising along, and then you'll get to some crazy enemy on the field or some crazy enemy in a dungeon that'll be, pretty challenging. I'll be like, whoa.
Yeah, I think they've said that, right?
Yeah.
That you can, go, out to some crazy part of the map and, find out the hard way that you're not supposed to be there yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let me get back in my ship and just go explore. I mean, this world map's really cool. There's just a bunch of islands everywhere, and you have your ship, and just the primary loop is basically if you see the screen right now, it's like these stars will point to kind of your main quest objective.
Okay.
They'll be kind of all over the map, and it'll be like, go that way. So you're doing your main quests and side quests, but you're, finding loot. The loot will, if you have a level 5 sword and you find a duplicate, it'll level up that sword. You can get money and go to shops and upgrade all your armor and equipment. They give you different parameters. There's different weapon types. There's claws or an axe. You have your pistol this time too, your flintlock. So battles basically consists of using your flintlock, getting in there, melee damage. You have magical attacks like flame, fireball, and shields and healing and lightning. There's so much going on. It sounds like a lot, but it's so simple. It is the easiest game to get into and get obsessed with, and that's just single player too. So there's full on co-op as well. And again, the biggest difference is the ship. You can fully upgrade your ship as well. You find little bonuses, but parts for it.
And the ship combat looks fantastic.
And the ship combat is as well. You fight other ships in the water, or you can use your ship to attack land units, which is really satisfying and fun. I got to a really hard boar boss, and I died twice, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I just kited it over, Damiani. I kited it on over to my ship, and then I was just boom, 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 boom. Took that thing out.
Yes.
Cozy little towns. Again, the economy is really cool. You can upgrade your stuff or find everything. Cat Quest 3 also the biggest improvement here as well. This to me, I think it is the best Cat Quest. I haven't finished just yet, but I already think it is the best one.
Great.
There is, I lost my thought just like that. Fuck.
I got a question about ship stuff, Huber.
It'll come back to
it looks so fast and fun, the ship combat, but I'm curious. So what happens if you get sunk? Would you lose anything? How do you reobtain your ship?
So your ship it'll explode. You'll be in a little buoy in the water, and then you got to resummon it from a dock, which there are a lot of.
Okay. And then do you have inventory, cannonball? Do you have inventory? Or
you have unlimited ammo, but you have a normal cannonball attack, and then you can also have a special attack. So one of them is you shoot 3 big, flaming cannonballs out. That stuff is on cooldown. So yeah. The ship is really cool. The ship is so fun.
It looks so fun.
Yeah.
It maneuvers so fast. It's you're just whipping around.
I remember what I was going to say. The side quests.
Yes.
This has been, just so refined. The exploration and the side quests have been so refined now that we're in Cat Quest 3. 1 was in 2017. 2 was in 2019. So quite a big break. Obviously, we had the pandemic and strikes and all sorts of stuff crazy going on. But the side quests, there's fewer, but they're more impactful. They do really neat things with them that I'm not going to get into or spoil. Kind of change up the perspective or the gameplay a little bit. So yeah, there's less and they're more impactful. And I remember in Cat Quest 1 specifically too, a lot of the dungeons look the same. They've tried to give them a little more, visual variety this time around.
Great. I mean, and yeah, the visuals just look so nice, so
it's
clean. It's such a great style.
Soothing. That is the only reason I ever found out about Cat Quest 1, because when it was coming out, just the visuals.
Yeah.
And that's so much of what game marketing is, right? Like you have a new IP comes out, you have no idea what it is. What are you going to do? You're going to look at it. It's the very first thing. What does it look like?
Right.
So the visuals of Cat Quest really spoke to me when that first one came out. Nice. Now here we are with Cat Quest 3, and it is, each Cat Quest is better than the last. So
yeah, and
great.
So Huber, earlier this week, you got to talk to the devs.
Yes.
Talk to them for a good while.
Yeah.
So set this up for us, and we'll bring it in.
Yeah, I got to talk to, developer at the Gentlebros, and it was really funny. They were like, yeah, we were like, that's me talking to you on Twitter, like sometimes when we interact, which I thought was really funny. Parasocial relations, it's like we know everyone online. But it's like we've never talked, we never met. This was just a really fun interview because I'm really passionate about this series, and I feel like in the last year or so, I've found my interview voice where it's just like, yo, let's just talk, man. Let's just talk about this game. Like, let's drop all the pretense, the BS, like whatever, PR speak, or, I just like want to talk to you from the hip, from the gut about these games. And we did, and he dropped some really good insights into Cat Quest 3 and the franchise, and about just being a dev working on a franchise continually. Really proud of that interview, so check it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we'll roll that in right now, and we'll see you in a second.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Easy Allies. And we have a very special guest today, Desmond, co-founder of the Gentlebros. So nice of you to join us. How are you feeling today?
Wow, super excited, man. Like, I've been watching you guys since the game trailer days, so this is a huge surreal moment for me. So it's like super excited to be here.
Oh, yeah. That's so awesome. I'm so glad you're here because I am such a Cat Quest enthusiast since Cat Quest 1, then 2, and now 3. I love this series so much. So
thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were gonna say something?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like the whole team we kind of like saw the Easy Allies reactions during I think it was the PlayStation review, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, whoa, it's so cool. It's like it was a huge motivation for us, like to see you, especially you, so excited, and like everyone's so excited. We're like, wow, we gotta make this game great, man. So it's like, yeah, thank you for that. That was like really, really good.
That's so awesome. Awesome. Before we get into it, we gotta start at the origins. We gotta start at the beginning. Can you tell us a story about your first cat? Did you have a cat? Do you have cats? We want to know.
This is going to be a really short story, but I do not have a cat myself. No, but there are, so there's a very good reason for that, right? Yeah. So like, so I live in Singapore, right? And for the longest time, public housing in Singapore did not allow cats in the household. Yeah. It's recently been lifted, right? Like it's more lax on that now, right? So there's actually kind of like a culture in Singapore where we have these things called like community cats in a sense. So like at the bottom of all our housing blocks and stuff, there'll be like lots of like cats just loitering around and because we can't have them in our homes, like we kind of take care of them
at
the bottom of blocks and stuff, right? So I think that's kind of like where that love for cats kind of came from, right? And after like releasing, we'll be releasing 3 Cat Quest games by 8th of August. It kind of feels like I have like 3 baby cats of my own, kind of out there, right? So yeah. Don't specifically own a cat myself yet, but Yeah, kind of feels like we've researched on them so much. It kind of feels like we have them ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
So
a
those
way.
like those communal cat areas, that's kind of the origin of this
Yeah,
series. Just everybody's love for cats there, and then it's like, yo, let's make a
yeah.
game about cats.
Yeah. It's like a crazy story because the very first iteration for Cat Quest wasn't even an RPG. It was like a dancing game of sorts, right?
No way.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It was like a game called Copycat, right? That was like the name for the prototype. So it was like a kind of like a dancing game where the goal of the game was you would copy the dance moves of like the other player, which is why it's called Copycat. It was really dumb, right? So like because I was like the main game designer and I don't have a single like musical bone in my body, right? So it's like it was super hard to design. But yeah, so we had the character of the cat itself was really cool. So that's something that it's like, oh, okay, this game is not working out, but the character is. Let's kind of keep him and see what we could do. And then we kind of like pivoted a lot, like reiterated a lot on the prototype. And yeah, it slowly became the Cat Quest we know today. Mainly inspired by like, because I myself I grew up playing a lot of the older RPGs growing up, right? Like Final Fantasy, 1 to 12, right? Like the older classic ones where it's on the
Totally.
overworld map and things like that. So we had this idea of like, what if the whole game was just set on the overworld, right? Like you would fight on the overworld as well. Everything would just happen there. And that's, and then couple it with cats, hopefully people would like it, right? And then yeah, 3 games on, man. Three
That
games
is
on.
that is awesome. That is awesome. So your love for just RPGs and Final Fantasy led you to just completely pivot to an entirely new genre. What was that process like,
Yeah,
going from, copycat to Cat
yeah.
Quest?
It was really slow. Like we took so many steps in between. Like from the dancing game, it became like those kind of like idle RPG games, where you wouldn't really actually control the battle. Like you would just tell like, your cat where to go, and then he'll go through random battles along the way.
Yeah.
And then it slowly progressed to something a little bit more real time in a way where there started to have like the actual overworld and stuff. And then we added in like actual real-time combat in because we kind of felt like it needed that and it could be really cool with that. And it was just a super gradual process. Like literally every step of the way we were adding like something new that we thought could work for like the vision that we had. And yeah, it
Yeah.
just really slowly became
Yeah.
the game we know today. Like in fact, I think near like the very first prototype of the current Cat Quest formula, right? The cats were on all fours. Like they weren't even standing on 2 legs, right? They were like,
Oh,
yeah. So we had like a bunch of art like for like a design of a cat that was
yeah.
on all fours. So it's like it was crazy. It
And then
went through so much.
they would just claw or
Yeah, they were just like, claw and then like and it was actually even in 3D, I think the very first iteration, the cat itself was in 3D, but then we felt
Yeah.
it was way more charming if we could hand draw the cat, everything would be hand drawn and yeah, so that's why that's how it came to be. It's like
That's
a
so
long,
cool. That's
long
awesome.
process. Yeah,
Yeah,
long
what
process.
really caught my eye and got me into the franchise when Cat Quest 1 was coming out was the art. I mean, just this beautiful,
Thank you.
cozy art. You see this cat like with a
Yeah.
weapon and just in armor and just going
Yeah.
around the overworld map.
Yeah.
That really got me into it. And then I know Cat Quest 2 obviously had co-op and
Yes.
added the dogs into it. How did
Yeah.
the transition from 1 to 2 happen just by adding co-op and the dogs? Was that something you wanted to maybe do in the first one, have co-op, or did that
Mm.
come after the release?
Yeah, so when we first concepted like the whole world of Cat Quest, right? We kind of had this crazy idea that I still don't think we could like really accomplish it, but like we wanted to make 9 Cat Quest games, like because
Yes,
cats
please.
have
Yes,
nine
please.
cats have because cats have 9 lives, right? That was like the crazy idea. I don't know whether we'll ever get to 9 games, right? But the general like so we did come up with this roadmap, like just in case the game got popular, like
Yeah.
we would have. ideas of what we do next. So we always knew that the second game was going to be about dogs. The third game was going to be about rats. And I don't know if I want to say what the fourth game is going to be about. Probably not, right?
It's too soon. Spoilers.
Yeah, too soon. Yeah. So we kind of like do have this roadmap of like all the 9 games already.
Wow.
Yeah. So like when we knew when we're going to add dogs, right? I mean, dogs was going to be added to the mix. We knew what the story had to be. It had to be like a story of unity, right? Because like, in pop culture, dogs and cats are never on the best terms, right? So if we translate this to the Cat Quest universe, it's literally like 2 kingdoms at war, like constantly at war. And we thought it'd be really nice if we could tell a story of how these 2 kingdoms had to come together, right? To like, unify to defeat a greater evil or something like that, right? So, and then when you think of unity, like co-op kind of just comes into mind, right? Like literally you would need to partner up with someone else, right? Work together exactly like the characters had to do in the game to, overcome a bigger obstacle, right? So that's cool. That's kind of how like the co-op idea came into play.
So I was saying, the art style really got me into Cat Quest, got me into the door. And then when I was playing it, the real-time combat was so fun and snappy. But then just the progression, that RPG style progression where you're doing these like little bite-sized dungeons and, you're finding gear, you're leveling up. Was that, you said you had your love for Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Just walk us through the process of like how like all those RPG mechanics kind of came to be, because I just think it's so... Honestly, I just think it's so perfect. Like, this is a game that you can play for 20 minutes at a time or just like 4 hours at a time because it's just so rewarding in so many different levels.
Yes, I'm super happy you brought it up because that's exactly the goal and aim of the design, right? Like you could play it for 5 to 20 minutes and have a lot of fun, or you could play it for like hours on end and also have a ton of fun, right? So to do that, we had to make sure everything was bite-sized, everything was quick, everything was super fast. Like if you notice, like leveling up in a Cat Quest game is quick, right? It's not a slow thing. You get levels really quick, you get items really quick. In fact, we streamline a lot of things. Like if you get a duplicate of a weapon,
I love that.
we just level it up, right? We don't require players to go to a shop, sell it, get the money, and then upgrade it, right? We just straight up do everything for you. So a lot of the design was basically us trying to streamline the RPG process a lot, remove as much bloat as we could, because like remember we said like a lot of members of the team, we grew up playing RPGs, right? And as time went on, RPGs got more and more bloated. It just got inventory got more and more cluttered in a lot of games. Like we just felt like, if you could just remove all this excess, just bring everything down to what makes like progression in an RPG fun, and just make that really quick and fast paced. We could have something that feels different from everything else, right? So that's kind of like how we did it. It's not easy because since everything is super quick, everything has to be bite sized, right? Like we had to have like a lot of content, right? With things had to come really quick to the player. There's very little downtime, so that's also. It's also tough to design for because there's just so much we have to take into account.
I think about that all the time when I'm playing. It's just like, how do they do this? Because what I love is, like you were just saying, it got rid of all, there's just no bloat there. So it always feels like you're progressing at a really nice pace.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hold your hand. Like sometimes it'll push back. And I just love that, I'll get to an area or an encounter where it's like, whoa, this is kind of hard. Like, let me back out here. Let me rethink this strategy, or let me go maybe, level up a little bit more and I'll come back to here. Was that always the intent, is to kind of just push back enough to keep the players on their toes?
Yeah. So that's like it's a really tight rope to walk, right? Like, because if you don't, as designers, if we don't push back on players, there's no motivation for them to want to get stronger, right? So if the game is too easy, everything's like super smooth, you don't get that sense that, I need to upgrade my weapon, right? I need to level up and stuff like that. So pushing back is really important, right? but how do we know how much to push back? Because if we push back too much, players will get like kind of frustrated. They'll be like, oh, this game is too difficult. So yeah, it's a really tight rope to walk. I don't think we're perfect yet. We'll see what people say about Cat Quest 3, right? But yeah, so it's really tough to balance, right? We spend a lot of time balancing the game. There's a lot of play tests that go on. Like the whole, like as designers, it takes a lot of courage to kind of like put an area of the game that can kind of like kill players in one hit, right, near the beginning. Yeah, so that's like, it's like, what if players don't know why they're dying so quick? Like, what if they think the game is too difficult? So these are like kind of all the thoughts that go through our head. But what we've noticed is that, if we give enough feedback to the player, like in Cat Quest 3, right, like we literally darken the whole world when you enter. Like if you go to the Twilight Hours, right, everything gets dark. If you go to the Sunset Hours, the whole world, the whole sky turns to red. Like all these visual cues, like kind of hint to players that, okay, you're probably gonna be. It's a different area. It's not so sunny and bright as the regular, the one that you started in. Maybe it's gonna be something.
I turned around. I was like,
you turned around, right? Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of the thing that we're talking about, like having the courage to push back. Knowing how much to push back is really important when like designing a game like this. Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. So here we are with Cat Quest 3.
Yes.
And the theme this time around is pirates.
Yes.
Where did that idea come from? How did we decide that pirates was gonna be Cat Quest 3?
Yeah, so remember I told you we kind of like had a roadmap right from the beginning, right? So when we were talking about rats within the team, right? Like we always, because Cat Quest is all about puns, right? So we were thinking of rats. We're like, how do we punify rats? And it's like pirates is so obvious, right? Like pirates. Yeah, pirates. So we're like, yes, the game has to be about, pirates, right? And then we kind of thought like, if we did like two medieval fantasy games, and then if we did like a pirate game after that, it's gonna be like so fresh, so new. And I don't think anyone kind of expected it, like a pirate game in the Cat Quest, like pirate themed game in the Cat Quest universe as well. I don't think anyone would suspect that. So that's kind of like how the idea came about. Like it was because of rats in a sense, and how like the pirate theme just fit them so well.
Yeah.
And I think like if you go back to the first Cat Quest, right, there's actually an NPC that talks about this.
Oh,
so yeah, so
that was so long ago. I don't even remember this.
Yes, exactly. So it proves that we already knew that it was gonna be pirates from day one. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
So you decided on pirates. What about the pirate ship? Because that is such a core mechanic and a core part of Cat Quest 3, and it is amazing. I mean, upgrading this thing.
Phew.
Like just sailing it around. It's so much fun. It's so fun, like coming up to an island and then maybe departing your ship and then kind of like luring the enemies over and then getting back in your ship and shooting them.
Yes, exactly.
And it took me. It's so funny because it took me a while to realize that as a strategy. It took me not a while, but like I remember like coming up to some strong enemies and I was attacking them and I couldn't really do much. And then I was like, wait a minute, let me use my ship. So that was like such a cool moment. Did you always want to have Did you always want to have a ship for part 3 here?
Yeah. So like when you think of the pirate fantasy, right? There's a couple of things that come to mind, right? You want to do like the whole pirate vibe, right? The way you talk, me matey, right? All this thing. There's the swashbuckling that you gotta get right, right? There's gotta be like on foot segments, all the other pirate crews, and of course the last thing is you gotta have a pirate ship, right? So. Yeah, so when making a pirate game, we knew that if we were going to go into that, a pirate ship was like necessary and a must-have. If not, we wouldn't be able to like fulfill that pirate fantasy that people wanted from a pirate game, right? So when we knew we wanted to bring in a pirate ship, we also knew that we had to kind of like apply the same design methodology that we had for the Cat Quest series to how we would design a pirate ship as well, right? So Cat Quest is all about quick, like fast pace, easy to control, accessibility. So when we designed the pirate ship, we had all that in mind as well, right? So like when I'm sure like after playing for a while, it feels super different from a lot of like ship games out there, right? Because normally when you play other games, ships are super slow, they're like lumbering, hard to turn. But in Cat Quest, the ship is like super fast. It's like super easy to turn. It's super accessible. We have like a little bit of auto aim going on with the cannon as well. So there's like all these little things that kind of help players make things easier, but not take away from the depth as well. Because there's that huge risk versus reward mechanic, right? Like if you want to hit another enemy with your ship, you have to be facing them. But that puts you at risk of their cannon fire as well. So that's like that, yeah. So like that risk versus reward mechanic was like super natural and ingrained into the whole control scheme of the ship as well. So and in some ways it kind of feels more like a speedboat in a sense because you can boost, you can. I'm not sure if you realize, but you can drift as well, right? You could do a boost, turn really quick, and you can like kind of drift with your ship in a sense. So there's like
I think I've been doing that on accident.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like all this like cool arcadey stuff that we included as well, right into the ship. So
yeah.
So yeah. And I just want to talk about like what you said as well, like that realization that you could attack enemies on land.
Yeah.
That's actually a really cool point because we wanted players to realize that on their own, right? Because like actually through a lot of playtests, everyone was like I think like you when you started, like somehow it's hard to realize that you know you can you could use the ship to attack enemies on land, right? So actually there's a lot of parts in the game that are subtly like designed to help players realize that. So like we would kind of put a ship dock like really near a group of enemies, like tough enemies, right? And then we'll hopefully like oh, you know, we hope players would like see the connection. Like see the enemies, see the ship down, and like, oh, maybe I could use my ship, right?
Yeah.
And like even with I think one of the first world bosses you come across, the Boar King, right? There's actually a large body of water near him. It was like intentionally placed there, so players would think of using the ship.
Genius because it's so early on, and I had done so many areas before then, and then I was like just went and started to fight it normally. And got stomped. I was like, oh, that's so hard. And then like I would go other places and then I came back and then I realized it's like, oh, the ship is so
yes.
good.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So like there's lots of subtle stuff in the game that you know that's designed to help players realize this. But once you do, like you said, it totally changes the gameplay mechanics because now you're like factoring the ship into your strategy, right? Like how do I bring my ship inside here? Like can I use my ship to even the odds a little bit first before jumping out on foot and things like that? Yeah.
I love that. You know, 2 came out a little quicker to number 1, and then obviously number 3. It's been a little while. Obviously, we had the pandemic and everything, just slowing everything down. But what are some of the things you learned from Cat Quest 1 and 2 that you brought into 3, or were there any regrets from 1 and 2 that you wanted to reconcile in 3?
Wow, this is a great question. So, like I think we learned a lot from Cat Quest 1 and 2 kind of on how to design a sequel first and foremost, right? Like I think back then when we were working on Cat Quest 2, the idea was like, okay, maybe we'll just so like going back a little bit, Cat Quest 2 was mainly a chance for us to like implement a lot of the things that we wanted to do in Cat Quest 1, but we didn't manage to, right? So we're like, okay, Cat Quest 2 is going to be our chance to do that. It's also going to be our chance to expand on a lot of things that people liked in the first game, right? And at the same time, we wanted to add co-op, right? Because of the story reasons, and also we wanted, you know, to hopefully bring in a new crowd of players as well. But I think what we realized when we released Cat Quest 2 is that, you know, sometimes that might not be enough, right? Like just more of the same, but just more might not be enough for a sequel. Because like I think if I remember back then, like quite a few feedback we got was that Cat Quest 2, even though it was a great game, it felt a little too much like the first one, but just slightly expanded. Like some people even felt it was kind of like a Cat Quest 1.5 in a sense. So like we took a lot of that feedback, right? We were like, okay, so we have to expand on everything, but I think a sequel has to still feel fresh. It still has to innovate and evolve on what the games were before, right? So we still have it's like really tough because we still have to give players what they like. It still has to feel like a Cat Quest game, but it still has to feel fresh and new at the same time, right? So when we started work on Cat Quest 3, this was like the top, like in our bucket list of things that we wanted to get right. And hopefully we did, right? So it's like we looked at every system, every facet of the game, and we asked ourselves like how could we still like keep what like makes a Cat Quest game feel like a Cat Quest game, but change it in a way that it feels fresh. So like an example is the camera angle, right? Like just like a slight tweak of the angle to just be slightly lower. Now suddenly it's still very much like a fixed angle. You're still it's still kind of like a top down isometric, but because of the change, you can see so much further now.
Yeah.
Right? Right. It basically adds so much more to exploration because you can literally see like a landmark in the background, like a huge tower. It's like, hey, what's that? Let me go and see it, right?
Totally.
So it's like it's still the same game, it's still Cat Quest, but it involves exploration so much now with just that slight tweak, right? Even like really minute things of the combat as well. Like now enemies actually flinch now in Cat Quest 3, which they didn't used to in the previous games. And this changes combat as well because now flinching is like a whole part of combat. Like how do I, keep an enemy flinch and things like this. The whole ship thing was something totally new we added to make the whole experience feel new again. And again, the ship was something that we designed with the intention that it touches all the systems, right? Because ships help in exploration, it makes things faster, right? Back then, you could only just walk, right? Ships basically remove a lot of that friction you get when wanting to explore a new place. Being inside the safety and comfort of because the ship has its own health bar, right? It has more health. You kind of you feel safer, like going into tougher areas because you know you have that layer of damage you can take with the ship before you die, right? So that helps exploration as well. It helps in combat, like you said, it's like a new tool in your combat options, right? You could use that in battle. There's now ship battles as well, naval battles with other ships, which is a whole new mechanic of like risk versus reward. So that's how we kind of approach Cat Quest 3 using all the lessons we learned in the previous game. And I think the other big thing that we wanted to improve is also variety, right? Like the older Cat Quest games was like, it had a lot of dungeons. It was like quantity over quality in a sense, right? But in Cat Quest 3, we wanted to do the reverse, quality over quantity.
Totally.
There's still a lot of quests, there's still a lot of dungeons, but we tried to make every single one feel like unique and as varied as we could. So that was another thing that we learned and wanted to improve on.
I finished the book side quest the other
day.
The
love per quest.
Yes.
Right?
That one was fantastic. I love that.
Yes. Thank you. That quest was really fun to work on. It was actually going to be a lot more. It was going to be a lot more actually. The very first idea we had was really crazy. We wanted to actually make a whole separate visual novel game.
Holy crap.
So it's like you will enter the dungeon and then you will get like a new title screen with like a press start and then that was too much. But I think what we ended up with was also really good too.
Totally. Yeah, the narrative storytelling in that I absolutely loved. It was so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Cat Quest 4, different. maybe come back to that.
maybe we'll see.
Well, now because it's like, we had the medieval fantasy and then the pirates. It's like I'm already looking ahead. It's like, all right, are we gonna have like a old west cowboys Cat Quest? Like,
right. I know,
so
right?
many different possibilities.
Possibilities are endless now because we've we've shown fans that we don't necessarily need to stick with the medieval setting. Anything is possible. So we do have an idea of what Cat Quest 4 is. So far, reading Reddit and Discord, we haven't seen anyone guess this setting yet. So I think it's something else that people just won't expect. Yeah, I'm excited.
That's so awesome.
Yes. But we do want to work on a new game next. though, like a totally new IP. So Cat Quest 4 is going to be a while, unfortunately. But
no, that's so funny because I was driving up to work and I was thinking, it's like, I wanted to ask you actually. It's like, what is that like? Because this franchise is clearly, you're so passionate about it, and we love this series. It seems like it just has such a dedicated following. Like we can't get enough of this. But the first one came out, 2017 or so?
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, 2017.
So 7 years working on this. What is that like as a developer, balancing, the passion for this IP while also wanting to try new things? Like what is that like?
Wow. Okay. So it's you kind of reach a point, especially like since we've done Cat Quest for 7 years, right? Where you feel that even though you want to work on the next one, right? Because fans love it, you love it too. It's actually a disservice to the franchise, right? Because you've worked on it so long, you've been so close to the project for so long that you can't really trust yourself anymore. It's like, are your ideas fresh anymore, right? Like, is this good for the franchise if you keep on it, right? It's like that kind of franchise burnout that players have with certain franchises, like long running franchises, right? Like developers feel the same way too, right? We get a little bit of that franchise burnout if we work on something for too long, right? So even though we do want to work on the next one, it's sometimes better for a development team to kind of have a palate cleanser in a sense, work on something new, so we can get to flex our creative muscles in a different way, learn more things from that project, and bring what we learn to the next Cat Quest game we work on after that, right? So it's actually for the benefit of the game that I think creatives, like developers like us, it's important for us to do things like that. Working on the same thing for too long actually makes something feel, like it could be better, right? It could be fresher. So that's why we are working on something new for the next one, right? It's kind of an idea that's floated in my head for a long time as well. Something different we want to try. And hopefully people will like it just as much as Cat Quest 2. Yeah.
I am sure we will. We are going to be looking out for that one in the coming months or years for sure. Very cool. Any closing thoughts you wanna get off your chest or tell people about Cat Quest in general as we wrap up?
Well, it's so many things, but we hope Cat Quest is coming out on August 8th, right? On all the various platforms, Steam and consoles. We really hope people enjoy it. We hope fans of the series that have been with us since the first game they're as equally excited and will enjoy this equally as much as the older ones. And for people who have heard of the franchise, have not necessarily played it before, we hope you give Cat Quest 3 a chance as well. I think it's an adventure that I think anybody could get into. It's really accessible, fun to play. I think everyone will have a great time. And we hope the launch goes well on August 8th, which is International Cat Day, by the way.
So perfect.
Yes. That's just we hope everyone has fun with our games. Yeah, that's at the end of the day, it's why we love to develop stuff so much. Yeah.
Well, as a player, I absolutely feel that love and passion every time I play Cat Quest. It is
thank you
a joy. Every single time I play this series, I am just so happy. So thank you for making these.
Oh yeah, it's our pleasure, right? Yeah, seeing you guys so happy playing our games makes us happy too, right? So
that's awesome.
It's a win-win. Yes.
Yeah, no better way to celebrate International Cat Day than Cat Quest 3.
That's right. Couldn't say it better.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for Cat Quest, and thank you for watching, everybody. We are Easy Allies, and that was Cat Quest 3 coming out August 8th. Don't skip it. Love and respect.
All right, we are back. Huber, I have been playing a game called Creatures of Ava.
Why does this sound familiar?
So, this is actually being published by 11-Bit. They're publishing it. There's a smaller team making it. So that's kind of the funny thing is that 11-bit is known for these brutally difficult games.
Yeah.
And kind of like mentally exhausting games like Frostpunk and This War Is Mine and all that.
Yeah.
And this is just a much brighter, jollier, cuter kind of game. It's 3D, third person, kind of big, expansive, colorful world where you're going around interacting with these animals and stuff. And so I'd say it's kind of Zelda-esque for sure, and with definitely some Pokemon-esque elements as well, but not in the way of like you're collecting and battling creatures. In fact, what you are is like you're a human who's on this planet Ava.
A winged humanoid.
She's not winged. She is not winged.
Inside
For
joke.
listeners, she is not winged.
I know.
Okay. But so you're on this planet, and I guess that from your previous research, teams that were there and things that you know about it, has this infection that they call the withering.
The withering.
And so you and your partner are there to collect species and zoom them up to this space arc and try to preserve the planet's fauna as best that you can.
Great mission.
So
great objective.
And you end up crash landing there and meeting this native guy there, and he.
Yo, is 2024 the year of studying animals?
Right. And he's kind of a humorous guy. He's like, hey, you humans, you usually break your legs. She's like, no, my legs are fine. And then you get this staff that like helps you purify the withering. And so it kind of takes this form of these vines. And so like you get through dungeons by like zapping the flowers.
Zap them.
Sorry. Gotta take a bit of water.
Zap those flowers.
And clearing out areas. And then when you so then there's these pillars where you basically like add new powers to your staff. So you'll put the staff in the pillar, you'll solve this little mosaic puzzle thing.
I love these kind of puzzles.
And then you get a new ability. And so the first ability you get off of this is ability to levitate. So you put your staff on something and then you push the levitate button, and so like there'll be like a thing covering a hole or whatever. You push that up for a second, and it only lasts for a little bit. But then with the creatures that you come across, they will sometimes also be infected, and so then it kind of works like. So you're not actually like in combat, like it's kind of like a non-violent combat system in which you're trying to purify the creatures, not kill them, right? So you want to get photographs of every creature. You want the clean version and the infected version. And then you use your staff and it's like sucking the infection out of them. Kind of like a Ghostbusters kind of thing. And what's interesting, too, is that you can actually get, like, multiple creatures in the beam simultaneously, and it'll kind of connect them. Oh, yeah, it's there on the beam chain right there. And so you purify them, and then after you purify them, then they become tame, and you can go up and you can pet them.
Nice. Gotta pet animals.
Cute little animations and stuff. And eventually, we'll probably get there in the B-roll, but eventually you also get this flute. And different... Oh, yeah. Don's finding it. So different regions, there's different songs that resonate with the creatures and things there more. And so when you have the flute, the animals will follow you, but you can also zoom in on an animal and then take direct control and play as the animal. And so there's like these horse things that can like ram into barricades and open up pathways. There are the little green guys that we saw. They can like bite little vines that are holding up bridges, so you can like create bridges to cross. There are guys that they're like little diggers, and they'll there's like little spots, little mounds that when you do the earthquake thing around them, they will uncover items that are hidden. But some of them can also go, like if they're the right size, they can go through tunnels to other parts of the map that you can't reach and then open up from the other side, or they can climb across vines and stuff like that. And what's neat is that while an animal is wild, so not infected, but wild, you need to actually like do a Simon Says kind of thing. You see the notes that it plays, and then you play the same notes back at it.
Simon Gruber.
Yeah, and so like here with this bird, like I'm flying this bird around, and then I can eventually get to a spot where I can chop down a thing holding up a bridge. And then there are also these like teleport bots to zap
them.
the animals back up to the ark, right? And so you have like a certain number of animals to collect in each place. And there's a combination of the fact that you're kind of depopulating the area and some of the stuff that the villagers tell you that like it makes me wonder if there's something deeper going to happen here.
Every game has some weird twist.
because when you talk to with the first guy that you talk to, he's totally cool with humans, and he just finds you kind of amusing and kind of like you're in a rush, you're too worried about things, all of this. You meet the elder, and the elder is like, "You're ignorant. We don't want your help. When are you leaving?" And it's like, Ava doesn't need your help. The planet doesn't need your help. And then and that's the kind of thing that's interesting is like each of the different people that you kind of have conversations with have different takes and reactions to you. So there's one guy who's just obsessed with human technology, and he's got a shop full of junk, and you kind of come.
I thought you were going to say he has a shotgun.
No, non-violent, Hubert, non-violent.
Yeah.
So he's collecting things, and sometimes you'll either go out for a little side quest to find something for him, or there's another guy that like wants a helmet that's in his shop, so you kind of go and borrow it for him. And yeah, so lots of different character interactions, but basically, like I get the sense that they're trying to get these animals into the ark and then also convince the people that like they need to go too, because this planet is gonna get infected and die. But it does not seem like the people want to go. And so
the plot thickens.
I think it's again, it's like, who asked for your help is kind of the theme.
Never asked for this.
And so I'm very curious, like how these kind of differences are gonna end up resolving themselves. But it's a neat game. I will say, like the nonviolent combat and kind of like dodging around guys is it feels a little bit cumbersome sometimes. You do get some upgrades fairly quickly though to speed that up.
Sure.
There's some rough edges in terms of bugs and stuff. I had one bug that may have been patched by now, but before launch, where like a progression thing just didn't happen, and so I had to go back to before because basically like I triggered a cutscene and then my character was just stuck there, and then when I reloaded, I had basically skipped another cutscene that was like requirement for the next quest to appear. And so I ended up wandering around for far too long before I realized like, okay, I'm just never going to trigger the quest. I have to like restart the game because I had gone too far past the autosaves.
Yeah.
And then there's another little weird bug where the digger guys, how I was saying you can like inhabit all the different creatures. No matter what I did, I just couldn't target them. I had to like quit the game, go back into the game, and then it worked. So just little funny little bits like that. But it is a very nice game, and yeah, now we're looking at the second area, the jungle area that I just got into, and there's a fair amount to explore in each zone, but it's also not like gigantic open world. Like you've got to like again like almost like a Zelda where it's like you've got a pretty good sizable space to explore, but not everywhere at once.
Yeah.
And
it's cozy, man.
Yeah, saying earlier Zelda, not like not Breath of the Wild. Now I got to think about like what's in their head for Zelda. And yeah, you do get other powers for your staff. Seems like probably a new one of those in each spot.
Yeah.
There is a little crafting system for potions and stuff, but I haven't found that too useful other than healing, which you do need to heal quite a bit if you're a bit clumsy because you can get a lot of health taken out pretty quickly. But yeah, I'm liking it.
Cool game, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year of recruiting weird creatures. Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. It seems like it scratches that itch, too, of like a survival game without too much survival stuff. Feels like it has shades of that.
Yeah, I don't think it does so much because...
Like you're picking up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm picking up a lot. Yeah, I'm picking up a lot of stuff partly because I'm in a new area and like it's more of that that Pokemon Encyclopedia completion bit. It's like, okay, I want to take the photo of every animal. I want to pet every animal. I'm not so much sure about teleporting them because I don't know if I want if I should be teleporting them.
Something so satisfying about filling up a codex. God.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, dude, just like getting all those scans on the enemies when they have question marks, just all question marks, and you scan them, you're just like, gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. I know all your weaknesses.
Yeah. And I think that might be on Game Pass too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's on Game Pass, so
Sick.
give it a look. Cool stuff.
Check a look.
Jolly cozy adventure. Also this week, Huber, I'm sorry. Start with the bad news.
Get it out of the way.
Ready at Dawn has been shut down by Meta because even though they're spending unheard amounts of money on metaverse stuff that nobody wants, they've decided that they put a cap on the budget. So who's getting hit by that budget cap? Just one of the best VR developers that there is. Like, who also made The Order 1886 and God of War Chains of Olympus.
And goes to Sparta. Truly one of the best God of War games you can possibly play.
But VR, they made Lone Echo and Lone Echo 2, which I have not played, but
Jones
I've heard
loves it.
Very, very good things about.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is just more trash news. It's sad. You know, I'm definitely bitter. I definitely have a grudge against a lot of people with this.
Yeah, why do they need to buy them?
Not just the suits, but like, you know, The Order 1886 is just one of those classic piling on fucking witch hunts that went down before the game was even out. $60 for 4 hours, blah, 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 blah. Like, killed this game. And then they got sold to Meta. So, I don't know. This one stings because I love The Order 1886. And I just read that before they were going to Meta, they were working on a sequel.
Oh, yeah?
I just saw the headline of it. I haven't read all the details about it, but they were like gearing up to make another Order.
Yeah, it definitely had the hooks that was leading into something for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a matter of like, where are they going to get the green light for it?
The first one was just like proof of concept, it felt like.
Yeah. No, I Huber.
Just like top 10 worst witch hunts, dude. It's like friggin', I don't know, Spider-Man puddles and shit all.
I saw a lot of devs.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, I saw a lot of devs reacting to this news talking about how much, they moved things forward with like, the rendering and lighting and stuff with that game.
Oh my God.
Like a lot of people learned from what they did. Yeah.
God. I just really love that game. I know it's got its issues with gameplay a little bit, but it's so fun.
Yeah. Damiani, you brought this to our attention. Game Explain also announced layoffs this week. I know you know more.
I guess it's not layoffs. They just said they kind of ran into the same situation we kind of ran into where they just can't afford to pay their staff anymore. So they don't have any full-time people, I guess, other than Andre at Game Explain now.
Yeah,
so,
but he said he hadn't even paying himself a salary.
Which is the other part. So it's like, I know Joey and Triss, because I had done stuff with them before. Most recently, Joey with Prince of Persia on the preview. They invited me on to talk about that. They just can't afford to pay them anymore. So it's another big YouTube channel, dealing with the YouTube struggles. I know there's been there was history there, but like it is like one of the bigger channels that had been around, especially, Nintendo specific for so long. And it's just like, just generally not good news for, a lot of gaming outlets lately. So it's more bummer news, unfortunately.
Yeah. And he said it's not going away, but he's figuring out, what the new structure is going to look like.
It's not closing, but it's got to hurt to not be able to have that dedicated staff to do that stuff. So, yeah.
Some more game announcement stuff. Spectre Divide. Don, roll this, because I don't know if Huber's even got to see this thing yet. Have you checked this out?
Nope.
Okay. So this is a crazy 3v3 tactical FPS. And Huber, the hook is duality. You're actually controlling yourself and a clone. I don't know the lore behind it, but you have two of yourself on the battlefield.
Okay.
And it's got a really interesting look,
looks really cool.
Yeah, very sharp, cel-shaded characters.
Mm-hmm.
And
looks like one-shot headshot kills almost.
Yeah.
Pretty lethal time to kill here.
3 players per team. And you have a Spectre, which is a second body that you can freely swap between at any time.
Dude.
So you can have a sniper and a shotgun, Huber.
Wow.
Same match.
Cool.
Just swap between your sniper guy and your shotgun guy.
Yeah, this looks sweet.
So.
Cool.
More details out there, but I thought you'd want to look.
Yeah, looks cool. It's 3v3, right?
Yeah.
Multiplayer, not 3 versus computer.
Right.
3 humans versus 3 humans.
Exactly.
Okay. Just making sure.
Damiani, Monolith Soft, makers of Xenoblade, recruiting for new RPG directed by Tetsuya Takahashi. Any thoughts?
I only saw this headline. I've had no time to dive into this, and I want to, but I probably have to wait till the weekend. But I'm assuming from the headline that this is brand new, not one of their previous ones they were recruiting for.
It sounds like it, yeah.
That action-oriented one that was also medieval fantasy themed. I guess I said also. We don't know if this is going to be medieval fantasy themed. But heck yeah, any kind of new Monolith Soft RPG on board for. Personally, I hope it is not a new Xenoblade game. I hope it's something different. So yeah, this obviously is going to be a Switch 2 game. So it's this is exciting, to see what they've got cooking for Switch 2, because they make very, very, very good games, and I'd love to see them try something a little bit different from what they've done with the Xenoblade games, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's time for them to try out some new things, but they are wizards at world building. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they make such things that are so big and that run on potato hardware so well.
They get a better hardware now.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so excited. It's here we go. We get to see what their games would look like,
Exactly.
With beefier, beefier hardware. It's be nice to see finally.
Mm-hmm. Valnet has purchased OpenCritic.
Is that bad?
I don't think so, but I don't really know for sure. We'll wait and see, I guess. But Valnet are the owners of Game Rant, The Gamer, Dual Shockers, and Hardcore Gamer. So it's a good slate of sites there.
Okay.
They'll, of course, be doing more integrations among the network and all of that stuff. But they also hope to make OpenCritic, quote, the ultimate social network for gamers, with new unique features that boost social interaction, community engagement, and library building. I don't know about that.
Whoa, that does not sound good.
That doesn't fill me with much hope, but maybe they'll just give them more stability, because I feel like they've been doing a really good job with not a lot of resources. So I hope that they can get the back end really built up really well.
Public fund for one of them, for OpenCritic or Metacritic, one of the two.
Yeah.
So it could just
Wikipedia
operate, and
style.
that's all they do. They don't have to worry about serving ads and making money and shit. It's it feels like this type of thing. That's what it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just this, and be a little bit more pure and not tainted by
I feel like they had some of that for OpenCritic, but I think it's just one of those things where again, it's not quite enough. So they had to do more ads and things. So we'll see. Very cool news. Not unexpected in any way at this point, but Castlevania is coming to Dead by Daylight.
So dope.
Coming after Fortnite. All these crossovers.
Yeah, it is basically...
It's got to be a game coming up, dude. Castlevania, man. The property is penetrating other brands, dude. It's coming. No, it's coming. I believe. Don't. No, I don't want it. Damiani, I don't want it. It's coming.
I love this, Hubert. Thank you.
Yep.
Will it
Shutting
into
you down,
existence. We need this.
Not Capcom. Stop.
It's coming. But
I can very much see
this to yourself.
There's been a lot of
I can very much see them
Castlevania.
doing like what they were doing with Contra, right?
Yeah.
Do some Contra type stuff with Castlevania.
I mean,
Sure,
They could have someone else make a Castlevania game. Yes,
Yeah, dude.
that's very likely.
Yeah.
Dude, playing Dead by Daylight as Dracula just sounds correct.
Yeah, Dracula and Trevor.
That sounds so correct.
This is available now in the public test build. The official release will be on the 27th.
Damiani, dude, just one of those retro style Castlevanias. Not even a Metroidvania. Like, dude, Castlevania 1 style.
Well,
Super
we got
4, 2 and 3.
we got what you call it the
Collections.
Kickstarter. No, the Kickstarter game. We got 2 of them.
Oh, Bloodstain.
The Bloodstain. Thank you. We got the classic versions of those. Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I'm saying sick.
Huber, they're hyping up Dracula's castle too. Dracula's powers and those of his castle are inextricably linked, and the entity has brought both into its realm. Damn. Anytime Dracula is the featured killer in a trial with an original map, players will see the ominous castle looming over the proceedings,
So cool.
perched on the horizon of that map.
Dude.
The powers it bestows upon its master are enough to make even the most grizzled survivor's blood run cold.
It's pretty dope.
And they say that Dracula is the first vampire that's been in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Also,
it feels right.
The
A vamp.
first shapeshifter.
Dude.
So,
Let me turn into mist.
as a vampire, he stalks his prey, able to conjure flames that sear flesh and render bone to ash. The bat is as quiet as a creeping shadow, approaching at a moment's notice and gaining ground with a blink. And the wolf is a relentless hunter with a keen nose for fresh blood,
Oh my goodness.
even that which has yet to be spilled.
Whoa. So like
So,
wolf to track them, bat to scout them.
yeah, or to sneak up.
Yeah.
Sneak
Very
attack.
cool. Very cool.
Yep. So,
Count
good
me
stuff.
in.
I haven't seen the gameplay footage yet, but
Wait,
they
do they have-
usually follow up with a gameplay trailer a little bit later. But it's in those streams. Yeah.
Did they have a xenomorph yet in Dead by Daylight?
Oh yeah.
Did they add that right?
Yeah. With
yeah.
the vents, remember the vents that pop up in the different
God,
maps? Yeah.
Dude, Dead by Daylight. Out of control.
And then last one, this is a very interesting project here. Save Seeker. You're playing as this kid who is trying to save the world from their father by traveling through time and overriding his save points.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
The screen is kind of making me nauseous. It's doing some weird, like, wavy thing, a lot of those shots. I don't know what that was.
Oh,
It's freaking me out.
are you talking about the pre-rendered bit, or just
No.
the transitions?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're doing like some
warp.
zooms.
Yeah,
and stuff.
some
A little
weird
Yeah.
weird.
Because the art style is really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, and also Huber, you recruit the former bosses into your party.
Oh, I love that, dude. Double Dragon 3, what's up?
But yeah, so I guess your dad was the hero that became the villain, and now you're here to redeem him.
Damn.
So
Yeah, it's got a really good look, Blood.
yeah, good stuff. Mm-hmm. It is time for love and respect. Love and respect.
Have respect.
That character's name was Tippleton, and it reminded me of Poppleton.
From Drayton Williams. Hey, allies. Movie tie-in games used to be a staple in the gaming industry,
Sure did.
but it's become less common in the last 2 console generations. Can each of you describe a movie tie-in game you would love to see created?
John Wick. I don't want your like weird John Wick mobile game. I want like a real deal John Wick game.
Yep.
Sifu with guns. Come on.
I will go recent. Let's get a tornado game.
Yo,
That's
Twisters.
Celebration of Twisters. Chasing tornadoes, so you don't have to do it in real life and risk your life, obviously. But that'd be sick. Like, and you could do them. Then you could do them in crazy situations. Tornado going through a giant city. You know, last time we saw it was Day After Tomorrow. Was that like 15 years ago now? We need an update on that. Better special effects now. I can get my snow tornado finally. Tornado going through a snowstorm. Just wrapped in snow, and to see that monster coming after you.
Long legs.
Haunting.
Don, you got your wish. You got the Avatar game over there. We got anything else?
Yeah, I'm happy. That's all I needed.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's a shame that we didn't get a new Top Gun.
Yeah.
A new Top Gun game would have been great.
Good call,
got Ace
Blood.
Combat.
That's a great call.
Yeah, but I mean, it's even been a minute for Ace Combat.
No, wait, man. We just had 8. It's a couple years ago.
It's a few years ago.
It's
been a
illusion.
while since Ace Combat 7. Yeah.
It feels like just yesterday.
Yeah.
A new 8-bit Top Gun would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been good. Yeah.
And he's got
2019.
Okay.
5
Yeah,
years.
that's a while.
Yeah. That was January.
Dude,
even.
God,
yeah.
everything after COVID is just like, what? That time, dude. It doesn't feel like that long.
So weird.
God. Yeah, and Ace Combat's like a little more serious, whereas I imagine Top Gun could be like really fun.
It's kind of not.
I said kind of.
Yeah,
I said kind of, Blood.
From Oliver Leland. Hey, allies. Although it hasn't been given a concrete release date, Capcom has stated that the Marvel vs. Capcom collection will release this year. Presumably, it will go up against Tekken 8 at the Game Awards, as those two represent the most significant releases in their category. Should re-releases of decades-old games be eligible in award ceremonies like these? And does it stand a chance against a brand new game like Tekken 8?
I say yes, it does, because if your new game is not as good as some 20-year-old game, that's on you.
I would honestly say it depends how much is updated, and we've seen that they are putting like more. There's might be like more stuff than what they've shown off already as well. So that's something to also like factor in. So I think it just depends really on how much new it brings to the table, as well as like the updated effort. To like I would personally would judge that. But obviously, I think it has a very it's an uphill battle against Tekken from what I've seen, but even though I don't think it will probably win any awards, I do think we're also forgetting about like Multiverses coming back.
Yep.
That would, I'm sure that will be in the running for some people.
I think it will be. Yeah.
And then I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's probably Tekken's to win, but I don't see why. From what I've seen so far, I don't understand why. The Marvel's Capcom would be ineligible because it seems like it's doing enough, in my opinion, to qualify.
Chaos Reigns could potentially get in there. Chaos Reigns. With that expansion for Mortal Kombat there. But to me, I definitely think there's a little bit more of a case-by-case basis, but it is interesting when if the most significant thing in the Marvel vs. Capcom collection is online play, where it's you're basically just allowing people to play the game that they're already playing, but now they can play apart from each other. It's not nothing, but it's it's still the same game. So it's not like it's a new release. But I think the fighting game category is always such a weird one because there's usually just barely enough things to qualify anyway. So it's one of those things where I think even if people don't necessarily want to put Marvel vs. Capcom in there, they will end up doing it because we want to put something in there rather than nothing. and then they'll still vote for something like Tekken 8. But yeah, it's definitely weird because it's like it's a collection as well. It's not just one game. It's like 8 games, right?
For sure.
6 or 7, 8, something like that.
Pretty tricky situation.
No, it doesn't come out until next year. I do know people right now are playing 2XKO. Is that how you even pronounce it? The formerly Project L, Riot's fighting game.
Right.
I know that's, they just dropped it or something for some like beta or demo or something. So that's next year though. But like, and I don't know, like, could they call it like early access? Will some people like, say that was what they played, like they think it's good enough and it would qualify? I don't know. We've had like stuff like that before, right? Where our rule is like you get 1 year.
Yeah, Keely's stuff isn't that restrictive, really, as long as there's like enough significant new content in a year.
Like if, because Hades 2 is not officially out till next year, so is that eligible for like GOTY at Game Awards?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
So funny.
Yeah, if people consider it, significant enough.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think people want to also let it cook. It's like, let's see everything it can do and then give it its due.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the single player and live service stuff definitely has a divide there too. Whereas like if something is in early access, like Fortnite forever, right? It's in early access, but everyone's playing it together, is a little bit different situation than, okay, the early access is like, there's this like core group of people that might be going back to Hades 2, but most people are like checked it out and then, okay, I'll wait for the finished game. Yeah. So very different. Things don't fit into categories very easily.
Not anymore.
From Kyle VG. Greetings, allies. First time, long time. Last week, Huber mentioned Rogue Legacy 2.
Yeah, I played again last night for no reason.
On the topic of addictive games. God. I wholeheartedly agree that RL2 is an addictive for all the right reasons. This reminded me of this one time when me and 3 friends from college all played Rogue Legacy 1 together until 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it just never ends.
Handing the controller to the next person after your inevitable death was a jolly time.
That is so fun.
The game's design lends itself well to group play.
Oh, that's so fun.
Whoever has the spotlight is being cheered on. We would plan out the upgrades, and by the time it's your turn again, the character is noticeably buffed.
Yeah.
So my question to the allies, do you have any fond memories of playing a single-player game as part of a group? Controller passing. What have you got in there?
Super Mario 64.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
Get some stars, each people let me get a couple stars and you get a couple stars. I'll get a couple stars for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've done that. So that's cool. That's great. Damiani, you got any thoughts? Anything?
Yeah, things coming to mind on this one, unfortunately.
This is one of these things that's like something is on the tip of my tongue, and I'm just like, I know it's there. I know
we have all those fun or Bloober memories from our Bloober playthroughs of that we've done, the groups of the different horror games. Have we done it 2 or 3 times now?
Oh, you mean the Dark Picture ones?
Yeah.
Supermassive games.
Oh, wait, that's not Bloober.
Yeah, not Bloober.
Yeah, Supermassive is interesting because it's designed to be played multiplayer, but it is like a single player at a time.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. But you can totally screw somebody else over.
I remember the first couple Hitman games on playing on my friend's PC.
Hitman was good.
Me and all my friends would go over there, and we would like take turns on his, because he had like the best PC. So we'd like every time a new Hitman we'd gather over there and play together. That was always fun.
Sick.
Yeah. The one I'm looking forward to, we got a group stream coming up in a couple of weeks, is I Am Your Beast.
I am your beast. All your beasts belong to us.
Which we're about to get to here in a second, chat. Because it is similar to... I really keep going back to Neon White as a comparison. And I know not everybody's played that game. But it's, a game where you have very quick levels. And you go back to those levels to try to optimize. Try to just get your best run. Be creative. Try out different things. And like to me, that's a perfect pass to controller.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm gonna try this, and like,
so right.
do a run or two, hand it over to Don. All right, Don's going to do a run or two, hand it over to Gabby. Like,
Totally.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah. So that's it. Any other thoughts? Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Kyle. It's time for bets. All right. Go ahead and start running this. So yeah, we were talking about I Am Your Beast and the Love and Respect questions. It is out next week. It is a spy thriller, speed run, crazy trick combo FPS with Black Jason Bourne. It is sick. I played the demo a while back. I want to play more. Here's all I want to know though. How many confirmed kills will be in that launch trailer? You know that it's a confirmed kill because there's an X that pops up on that enemy when they die, as you can see in that previous trailer that we checked out before we bet. Damiani, how many confirmed kills?
I'm going to say 42. Last number in the lost numbers.
42.
Silly.
Huber, Stealthy Centipede.
21.
21, half a Damiani. Don, Fashionable Manatee.
I'm going to go 34.
34. Gabby, Optimistic Rat.
30.
30. Don, we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
I also said 34.
Okay, I'll go 33.
Nope. They're both 34.
I'll go 33.
That's not how that works.
Huh? Oh, okay.
They're blind bets.
Okay, I was just
Change
being
it after.
considerate.
Oh, there we go. So maybe we'll have 2 winners next week. We'll see. Last week's bet, Cat Quest 3. It's out now.
Sick game.
Last night, I went through the
$20.
posts on the Gentlebros Twitter account from last week, 11:59 p.m. August 1st until 6 p.m. August 7th. I wanted to know how many cat puns would be posted in that time. That includes retweets. That includes videos. That includes photos. That includes repeated content in separate posts. But it does not count pirate puns, mouse puns, those kinds of things. Cat puns.
Yeah.
Rihanna, who was here last week, for Dawn, bet 53.
Thank you.
Huber bet 17. Dawn bet 25. And I bet 73. Huber,
Yeah.
remember that press kit we opened up?
Yeah.
Was that wanted poster?
Yeah.
That wanted poster has multiple cat puns in it. So
is
every time they retweeted somebody with that wanted poster, those
Oh my
puns count
God.
again.
Oh my God.
So, August 2nd, we had Are Mew Ready? August 5th, we can't wait until you get your paws on it. You can challenge bosses pretty much right away. End of Klaus. In New Game Plus, you'll get to keep your level and equipment. Then August 6th, this is the big one. This is the big day. The perfect PR kit went out. We haven't assembled it. We were looking to assemble it today. Ended up not getting to it. There's a ship that is in that press kit called the Black Pearl. With the little thing on the back.
You gotta play this game, don't
It's
you?
a little cat, essentially like, cat climbing thing. What do you call them, Damiani?
Like a scratching post.
Trees, you mean? Cat trees?
I guess, but it's a ship that they can like hang out on and go inside of and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, because there's scratching posts and then there's cat trees or things I climb up on.
Nice. And then, then we have, so there's the Black Pearl, and then on the wanted poster we have Clawful Crimes, Forgery, and Conspiracy.
Oh my God.
No.
So those come up multiple times. We got a bunch of Black Pearls, we got a bunch of wanted posters.
So many puns in this game.
We got a perfectly fun, a Singapore-made RPG series, Meowza, a Possum review, a perfect match. Oh yeah, some of the review quotes counted in here as well. Pretty much perfect. A Possum kit of Kato goodies, I just counted that as 1 because Kato is a little. That's on the line. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
The reviews are pawing in instead of pouring in. If you can't wait to get your claws sunk into the game, then we got a lot more press kit stuff over and over. Several of these. Then August 7th. Apologies for our mix-up. Pause at the ready. Couple more of those. Privateer. The Caribbean, of course. Mew Game Update. Mew Game and New Game Plus. The Mew Game Update again. Meowtifiers. Multiple timelines all going on concurrently. And then we got some more Black Pearl's Clawful Crimes, Forgery, and Conspiracy again.
All right.
Bringing the total to 51. Rihanna is just two points off. And that gives Dawn the point.
Nice.
Woo! Yes.
Bringing the scores to 9 for the Stealthy Centipede. And 5 for the Fashionable Manatee.
Swing. Thanks, Rihanna.
Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. All that we do here is because of wonderful people like you who are watching this show each and every week and checking out all the other stuff that we do, our group streams and our reviews and such. And they decide that it is not just worth their time, it is worth the money. So, like I said, this podcast on an average month, somewhere between 10 to 12 hours that you're listening to. So if you consider that worth $5, consider dropping in $5 for us to keep this thing going. And with that $5, you get this podcast 2 days early. You get an ad-free version. You get bonus love and respect questions. You get to ask those love and respect questions. So please get in there. Get as many of those as we can to pick from. You get into our Discord where you can vote on top 10s and all kinds of stuff and give suggestions. Hint, hint, someone gave a suggestion today about Brandon Jones coming on those opening night live reactions because you were going to be at opening night live.
Yes.
And I'm like, text Brandon.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
He's going to be here.
Hell yeah.
So there you go.
Got him.
A direct line to the source in that Discord.
Love that.
We have a lot of other tiers and rewards for you. And then we have our platinum producers who get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. And this month's shout outs go to Javawebs, Elthanis, and Forever Ender. Shout out. We got some things to promote here. First of all, my East 10 preview went up.
East 10
went up this week. Really, really enjoyed East 9. A lot of people are telling me I got to play East 8. A lot of people like 8 more than 9, which I'm like, oh, well, 9 was great, so that's good. And I'm looking forward. Talking about ships, got a lot of ships this week.
A lot of ships.
There's a ship in East 10. That's your home base of operations. You do a lot of ship combat in that as well. It's a thing. It's all over. And then they've really revamped the combat system and stuff there too. So check that out.
Sick.
For this week's group stream, we played Warhammer 40K Speed Freaks, which was really great.
Sick game.
I did go and play that on my home PC and definitely do that.
Yeah.
Definitely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was okay on my laptop, but definitely play it on something a little bit more robust. Next week, as I said, we're going to play that Cat Quest co-op.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, this man's going to Germany. This man, have you been to Germany at all?
Never been to Germany.
Never been to Germany. Never been to Gamescom. For Huber, Isla, and Sophia, I have about 54 appointments booked so far out of 180 invites.
Checking out some games.
So we're going to be checking out some games. We got some good games.
Getting some beer and some food.
Yes.
In excess.
Going to have a meetup probably Wednesday. I'm still not sure whether they're going to do like a smaller thing Thursday for people that can't get there on Wednesday, but definitely Wednesday, I think. Keep an eye out for that. And Huber Hype, going to have some time to shoot on that floor.
Hope to see you there.
And yeah, look out for him. Also, if you're going to opening night live, they're going to be there in person. So look out for them as well.
In the flesh.
And now Dawn has been working on something, and he has a special video to show you.
Yes, we have a special little promo we're going to run right now. Let me just get it set up real quickly. Yeah. One moment. Make sure that everything is right on this.
This is a long time in the works.
Long time in the works.
But it is worth the wait.
Long time, first time.
This won't be too
very much worth the wait.
All right, hold on, stand by. Here we go. Open those peepers, everyone. Here we go.
Welcome, one and all, to this special competition between the Easy Allies and Wave Race in real life. We're coming to you from the wave racing capital of the West and a beautiful Southern California back alley. I'm here with my partner to cover this event.
Get ready for the first race.
The competitors are getting ready, and the jet skis are arriving at the starting gate now.
3, 2, 1, go!
There it is, everyone.
Jolly.
Wave race in real life.
Yeah.
I think we'd be putting it up early next week, maybe.
When it's ready, Don.
All right.
No need to rush at this point.
When it's ready,
Hopefully
TM.
this week.
Yeah. Don, thank you for that. You also get to shout out anything or anyone that's on your mind this week. You get that final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Okay, sick. Here we go. A quick little last word. Thank you to Game Informer and everyone that was involved with Game Informer. I'm so sorry this happened. Gosh, you brought so much beautiful things to this world, and so many people were affected by it in a great way, and we will not ever forget it, okay? Simply can't be stated how special it is, Huber, to just kick back with a magazine. I always remember from childhood growing up, the old strategy guides, too. There's something nice about physical publications, and especially gaming mags are so special. So thank you to Game Informer and everyone that was involved with that establishment. And a shout out to a publication that still is alive, and this is important, Retro Gamer, okay? This is a UK publication. I got to shout them out, because if you haven't heard of them, you got to check them out. Oversized printing from the UK. You can subscribe internationally, and they're just one of the absolute best journalistic fan stuff. They do all kinds of coverage of the retro gaming scene, and it's really, really special. So please check them out. They're one of my favorites, and they're still going strong. I don't have a sign out. I'm going to see Megadeth on Friday.
Crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I probably have already seen Megadeth by the time you're watching this, so who knows what sort of state of mind I'm in. But look, for the first time, I'm getting to see Megadeth. I've been wanting to see them for a long time, so I'm going to do a Megadeth-inspired sign-off. Until next time, everybody, keep clinging on to life by the skin of your teeth. Isn't that pretty?
Everything includes all kinds of like overwhelming nonsense hentai games and stuff, right?